Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome. It is that time. That's right. It is that fantastic, fabulous, and amazing time. It is time for Talk Tuesdays. How are you fantastic and amazing folks doing today? Are you ready? I have got an extra special, positively, delightfully, most excellent guest already lined up in the wings waiting for you. Tonight's special guest, oh, are you ready for this? Tonight's special guest probably doesn't even need an introduction, but we're going to do it anyways. From the high seas to chopping down trees, this is an adventure of the highest order. From his undeniable abilities to survive any adventure he's dropped into without question. Whether he's keeping his companions alive or shooting the wings off from some bugs, spreading some managed democracies, this is a bearded knight without peer. He's a pro at killing his friends with Valheim trees, as well as playing knife catch with the backs of some of his other buddies. While you might find him online streaming in the evenings, his streamer still pairs well with your breakfast. Full of energy, holds high praise as the very first raider of a nutty squirrel. This is a solid man with a game plan and is always out front leading the charge. And quite frankly, I think his friends would rather have him in front than coming in from behind. The man, the myth, the beard that is part of your breakfast. Tonight, I present to you, lovely folks, the one and only. That's right, Sir Bearded Waffle. Sir Bearded Waffle, are you ready? Welcome to Talk Tuesday.
Yeah. We are ready.
Welcome in, welcome in.
Let's do this.
Let's do it, right? Okay, so, ground rules off the front, for people coming in. If you're new here to Talk Tuesday, there is a redeem in the channel. 1 point will get you a question you can ask our fantastic guest. This is where you get a chance to learn all about this amazingly bearded gentleman. As the questions come in, don't worry about trying to keep up with them. That's my job. I will help facilitate and keep track of all of that. If somebody asks a really stupid question, I'm sorry, Zoda. Again, credit cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all you get. You're going to have to figure out the rest on your own.
Glad you said something. I was ready to give it away.
Right, but I mean that's kind of what we do here. We ask questions, so you'll get hit with a couple questions off the start. We have some generic ones that I ask everybody. It's the way to get things started. You'll get 2 questions at the end. Those are also generic questions. That's a good way to wrap things up. And then the last point of the call that you have is to select our raid target for the evening. So, exclamation puzzle in chat for anybody that wants to do the puzzle. It is already selected. Our guest is already making inroads into making this thing look nice and pretty. If you're ready, Waffle, can I call you Waffle, or you prefer a different?
Waffle's fine.
Waffle's fine. Okay.
That's what everybody calls me.
Then... Well, I was pretty certain that's what I heard you being referred to at all the time. Well, then.
Yeah. Everybody kind of dropped the sir.
Well, Sir Bearded Waffle, welcome to Talk Tuesday. He's on the screen. He's live and in charge. It's a good time. It's a good time. And you haven't been nervous about this upcoming, right? This has been like, this is old hat. So you're used to this, right? This is.
Yeah. I was a little at first. I was like, man, I don't know how this is gonna go. So I made sure to really hop in and watch a bunch lately. Just okay, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, this is just just sit around and we talk smack and give each other a hard time and generally laugh and it's like any other stream with anybody else, right? Just the game that we're playing is the puzzle, and we're talking about you more than we're talking about me, so it works out well.
Everybody always talks about me. I'm used to it.
Well, it's an interesting subject. I mean, what do you want? So, that being said, your first question of the evening, we'll get this started off good and strong. Sir Bearded Waffle. I love the name. It is absolutely delightful. Where did it come from?
Well, so I had originally started streaming on Facebook, and it was kind of just I got bored. It was COVID, and it was easy because my friends were on there, and I had originally started out as a Blue Waffle. For those of you that don't know what it is, do not look it up. But that was my original name. And when I started
Oof.
to actually get a following, and we were on Facebook, a little more kid friendly. Um, my wife told me if I was going to take this seriously, I should probably think into changing my name. And so then it kind of just, I was like, well, I like the waffle. I've already kind of got the blue theme going on here. And so I kind of just went with it because I had a beard, and I messaged my friend and she ended up making me a logo. And the Sir Bearded Waffle came because I used to stream with like a chainmail coif as well, with my beard sticking out the front of it.
I did
Uh,
not
I
know that.
pulled I
I
pulled one too many hairs with that.
Oh,
I was
I
trying to
mean
see if I could
that
find it
would have
quickly,
been
but I don't know where it's at. Yeah.
painful.
Oh, it sucked.
Uh,
So, yeah.
Oof.
But that's where Sir Bearded Waffle comes from. It was originally a very fun name, and we changed it because you know for
No, it's
reasons. I think they speak for themselves.
for hair reasons, we like the
Yeah.
stuff attached, not pulled out by the roots. Um, ouch. That is fantastic. And you actually I think you kind of answered my second follow-up question, which is, usually, what got you started to stream, but I think you kind of covered that when you're like, yeah, I had COVID.
Yeah. I mean, we
Unless there was
literally got
more to
sent home from
that
work.
story.
No, we just got sent home from work, and it was one of those, like, I was playing games all the time, and my wife was pregnant with our first child, and it was kind
Mhm.
of just like, what am I gonna do? And so, like, I had started kind of just hanging out with some people that had talked about streaming, and I never really was like, oh, I'll never do that. I don't have the personality for it, and I apparently do because I enjoy it, and
No,
kind of just
yeah,
went with it, and then yeah, I mean, it started out as just like a hobby, kind of like I'm playing video games anyway, why not? And
right.
then now I have a schedule, and my wife knows, and my kids know, and they like my if there's a lot of times where I start streaming, my kids will still be awake and they'll pop on or something. So, but I try to keep them in bed. That's why I stream so late. I used to stream earlier and on weekends, and
Right.
not anymore. So it kind of just started out as a fun hobby that turned into an even more fun hobby,
Hey, there's
and
nothing
just
wrong with that.
a boredom thing that I kind of just dove into.
Now, would you say you've made like a lot of interesting? Have you made more friends since coming to Twitch from Facebook, or would you say it's been, kind of the same?
Um, I
Like
would
the
say
core,
yes.
yeah.
I've made more friends on Twitch than I have Facebook. Facebook was a lot of like just the people that I knew like
Hmm.
in my local area, and then
Right.
there were a couple people that kind of would join in that because I used to stream with another guy. We used to do 7 days a lot, and so some people from his channel came in, and there was some people that we met from like Alabama and Texas and everything through that. But then majority of the people that I still play games with. I mean, shoot, Zam in chat and Blondie. I mean,
Hmm.
I rated Blondie, and she was playing Stardew Valley, and I mean, we talk all the time. I mean, Zam, he found me through TikTok, and I mean, he's played games with us constantly. I mean, we're always super friendly, and I always have the mindset of if you want to play games with us, anybody's welcome. And I mean, we've
Yeah.
made a lot of friends doing that.
Come jump on in, have a good time, laugh, giggle. Right. It's always a
And have a
good
good
time.
laugh. Yep. I just read Blondie's comment. Have a good laugh and still be an asshole.
Well, it takes practice. What do you want?
It does. It does. It does. It's a lot of practice through the years.
It does take a lot of practice. It's a very fine line to be funny, have a good time, and still be the asshole. It's
Mhm.
there is definitely something to be said about that.
For sure.
Mm. Oh watch out. I get in trouble too much.
I get in trouble a lot. I get yelled at a lot by my wife.
I figure we're not having a good time if somebody's not getting yelled at, though.
Exactly.
But usually it's squirrels. I see you there, Wars. Hives Wars. Another past Talk Tuesday representative in the house. We have a lot of Talk Tuesday people that pop in through here, but it's. I will be honest. I have enjoyed Talk Tuesday because I get to actually sit around and talk with individuals that I would not normally get the opportunity to have conversations with. Like yourself. Like I pop in and there's you've been on the other side where you're a chatter in the channel and you can talk, and that's fine. No, I didn't get confused. I didn't say swores. I said it's a wars, and I just dropped the and it's wars. And so you got the S with the W off the back end of the ITS, and so it's wars. There you go. Go away. Leave me alone.
The Schwartz. The
That's
Schwartz
right.
is strong with this one.
It is. It's extremely strong.
I see your Schwartz is bigger than mine.
It's not the size that counts. It's how you use it. But I've lost my train of thought now. There you go. That's a good way to do that. It's
I'm really good at making people lose their train of thoughts.
actually, see, that's not your fault. That's actually Wars' fault, because she was like, "Swars? What is this? You get me confused with squirrel?" No, I did not get you confused with squirrel. I did that. I did that one time, and she's not letting me forget that one. It's fine. It's fine. No, it's always just interesting, right? Because I found that talking to people face to face like this is a lot. It's a lot more. It's a lot more interesting. Like, we can have conversations in chat between yourself and like your chatters who are in there typing away and whatnot. But I find that we can get through a lot more conversational pieces when you're vocally talking with somebody versus trying to talk with all of the chatter that comes on with being in chat with everybody else. And sometimes you're one voice trying to fight with like a half a dozen other people or more. So for me, these are just fun.
Oh. As I say, I always have fun every time I pop in.
Especially when you get like the really super popular streamers.
Oh. I don't know what that feels like.
What are you talking about? I struggle to get heard when I pop in on your channel. But like Zam is like constantly. I mean, that dude's like what, 5,000 words a second or whatnot. Like,
yeah,
turbo post in your channel. I'm like, what is this, Zam? You don't talk like that everywhere else.
Geez, Zam.
But for real. Swift Squirrel would like to know, what is your favorite waffle topping?
Syrup. I'm basic. It would have been a lot more gross if I was still blue waffle and I said I like syrup on my waffle.
Oh, that would have been terrible.
Yeah, just like to throw that out there sometimes. I don't know, like so that's a hard one, because like I've never been a big toppings guy on waffles. I like to just take the syrup and put it in each little pocket, so I've got a bunch of syrup for each bite.
Oh God. Yep.
And I know, like a lot of people probably won't agree, but I just don't like whipped cream. Like, I know that's a big topping people like to put. I've never been a fan. I like it in my girly drinks, like my coffees, like my pumpkin spices.
Okay, why you said pumpkin spice, and I'm like, okay, why are you drinking a freaking candle?
Oh no, it's coffee. We got a fancy blender coffee here. It's fantastic. I love it. It's the one I had this morning because sadly pumpkin spice is over because it's November at this place. So I had a sugar cookie one this morning and it was delicious.
Ah.
Dang it, Maury.
I saw like 3 people converge on that one piece. I'm like, I see it. Dink. I got it first.
Man. I started out doing this, then I stopped doing it, and everybody else is like 40, 27, 28. I've got 6 pieces connected.
Like I'm lagging here. It's fine. It's fine, Wars. I promise it'll be all right. Oh, I usually like hardcore. Like this is my big thing, right? Is I will drive until the edges are done, and then I'm kind of like, yeah. At this point, I slow down because I stop. I don't care about the middle. I care about the edges just because that's the easy bit. And after that, I'm like, whatever.
That's usually where I do the most because it's like whenever me and my wife do a puzzle together, she's always like, "Oh, we got to get the outside first." And I'm like, "Okay." I just like finding same color pieces and putting them together. She hates doing puzzles with me because I'm terrible at it. And but yeah, I just do the outside with her and then I start spacing out because my ADHD can't handle it.
Yep. Like, okay. She can do the outside. You match the colors. It's fine.
So she's got one of those like fancy puzzles where like, oh man, what is it? She saw it on like the TikTok way back.
I not a TikTok puzzle.
I don't even know. I think this was before the TikTok shop. Like, I think it was like way at the beginning of TikTok, and it was like these like puzzles where like they're not normal puzzle piece shapes like these. They were just random shapes, and there's like one piece that's like literally like 2 inches tall, and like just one piece that's massive, and the rest of them are all normal size or like just different. And then it was when you got done putting the puzzle together, there was a separate envelope once you got done, because it was like 4 different puzzles that you just slid together. Right. And then when you got it done, you would open this last little package and put together another puzzle that would fit in the already completed puzzle. When you like spread it out, it would fit in the middle, and you'd put like another square in the middle. And so it was just like this like magic puzzle that just it expanded when you opened it. I have no idea, but I can't remember what it was called. We've got like 5 of them upstairs. We did 2 of them, and like I haven't done them since. That one was really fun. Like I thoroughly enjoyed doing that one. That's probably the first one that we actually both enjoyed doing together.
Like that just
because it was
painful.
Like so many random pieces. No, the painful ones, because I have people that I know that love doing puzzles, and they do the ones that are the same freaking color.
Oh yeah, no.
Why?
Let's not talk about the people that want to do the white puzzle. Like why?
If you in this chat like doing a same color puzzle, I have one question for you. Who hurt you and why? I guess it's 2 questions, but why?
No. I think it was not. I think they're same question. I think they're part of the same question. Like seriously, why? You poor thing. Now, Squirrel, I had some of those 3D puzzles, like the apple or the pyramid or whatnot. Like those are fine. I don't care that those are the same color because they're number one, they're the pieces aren't the same, and it's obvious it's making a 3D shape. We're talking about like single color flat puzzle.
I remember when I was younger, my dad had like a cathedral 3D puzzle that was really cool.
Yes.
And like you could literally, you built the ground base. It was just like white on the ground, and it just had the little pegs that were like when you stacked it up, and then it was literally like a rock face, and then you put the roof on, and it had like the bell tower, and it was cool.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
What happened to 3D puzzles?
I don't. That is, yeah, they did. They just kind of fell off the face of the world. Like people just stopped doing them. Well, that's not true, because you can go to like science shops. Like there's a mall about an hour 2 hours drive from where I'm at, up in North Carolina. They have a science shop, and you can still go in there and you can get all of those old classic 3D puzzles and whatnot. Like they're still making them. They're still available, but you have to go to like these specialty science shops. You can't find them at like a Barnes and Noble or puzzle distributor of your choice.
I also just now realized that I can click the preview button and it shows me what this puzzle is supposed to look like. I'm not the fastest.
I don't know why I was looking for puzzles, and I do this every time for all of the guests, right? So I'll go looking for a puzzle that I think fits well with them. And for whatever reason, like what this puzzle will be when it's done, I'm like, I could see Waffle doing this. Like, sure.
It's perfect because my son loves this, and me and him, pretty much anytime, because there's a place that we go to around here that we eat at that has an arcade in the place, and it's got one, and every time we get there he's like, oh my god, can we play that? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So we go play together.
Wars, Wars, you can't remember your puzzle because when I interviewed you, you were early enough into the cycle of Talk Tuesdays that we weren't doing puzzles at that point. Wars is one of the like OG interviewees. Like before I even had the backdrop, before we had any of this stuff, like she was. I had a stressful time. Okay, her stressful time was that her power kept blipping on her during the entirety of her interview.
That's the worst.
Yeah, that's her stressful time. She's like, it was a stressful time. It wasn't that stressful. You enjoyed yourself. You had a good time at it, but my power kept going out. Okay, let's make a distinction here on this.
But you still had fun.
It's fine. It's fine. Lieutenant Zam would like to know, why did you choose to keep him around? That is a good question. I would also like to know why you choose to keep him around, though I don't think that's really much of a choice since he keeps coming back.
Yeah, Zam, it was more because we just didn't want you to have to crawl away because, you've got your bionic legs.
Didn't want him to crawl away or couldn't get him to go away?
Both. No, you came and started playing fast with us, and we just had a blast, and it was just fun to play with you. Honestly, I enjoy you as a person, Zam.
Honestly, I had such a good time. I got involved with Zam. Okay, there's a story there. I feel like there's a story there. I share.
So, he was just telling us that he got in an accident and he had like a metal rod in his leg, and so we started laughing because at the time we had changed from playing Faz to 7 Days to Die, and there's a zombie in there that we call Lieutenant Dan because he's got no legs. And then he told us the story about him getting hit and having broken legs, and so we were just like, oh look, it's Lieutenant Zam. And so now he's the stream cripple. We love him.
That is fantastic.
You should definitely do a Talk Tuesday and explain it in better detail. I will be in chat 100% for that.
That's fantastic. We talk about these sort of things, right? Like these are lore things. So anybody that isn't in every one of your streams, hasn't seen any of this, this is information. Like, ooh, that's good to know. Now I now get the joke about talking about Lieutenant Zam in 7 Days to Die. And now next time I see the crippled zombie, that's all I'm going to think about is, Zam being run over by a truck. Like, oh, look, there's Zam. I'm gonna have to go looking for like Google images of it just so I can just like start memes posting them around. Look, Lieutenant Zam's out here taking photographs. Okay. For the record, Zam and Blondie, I don't think stream an awful lot because they were streaming a bunch and I was collecting points on their channel just because they've got that ghost redeem. I have redeemed that so much on their channel. Like there was a point where I think it was Blondie. It was like for like 5 minutes straight. It was just stupid ghost redeem. It's like, I can't hear anything you guys are saying.
It's either that or the crab rave dance. We love doing that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wars, I think that one goes in the middle.
It's fine.
Hey, look at that. I got like 30 pieces for that.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, if you just walk around and collect the big pieces and then just slap them in there, you can like swipe a whole bunch of points.
That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to steal some points there.
I don't normally tell people my secrets and how I score so high in these things, but I'll share with you. It's fine.
Speaking of the channel redeems and Blondie's channel, I used to always go in and do the crab rave.
Oh, yes. That was a good one, too. Honestly, every time I get a Blondie shout out, it's just her screaming. You ever notice that? Like, that's what people captured from her streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just screaming every time without fail.
Yeah. Mine is me laughing. Like, I have a thing that when I start, it plays just random clips from, I mean, there's literally clips that pop on where me and my wife stream together. Like when I first started playing Fall Guys, like way back when she would play randomly on days. And then all the way till now. And every single one of them is my stupid laugh. And I have to hear it for freaking 5 minutes at the beginning of every stream.
Okay.
And I get made fun of every single, like, do you have a single clip where you're just not laughing? No, I don't, because I'm always having fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's all my clips. If you every time you do a shout out at me, it's generally either me dying and then laughing like an idiot, or it's somebody saying something and me laughing like an idiot, and I'm laughing like a madman.
Great. Yeah, that pretty much
90%
of my laughing.
I have seen that clip more times than I care to admit to, and I laugh every time I see that stupid clip.
It's one of my favorite clips. I literally could not breathe for 5 minutes.
You're dying of laughter, opening and closing this thing, and Brotherford's on the other side, like, what the? Open. And you can hear him just slowly losing his mind and getting irritated and pissed off all at the same time. I'm like, this is fantastic.
Great.
Do it some more. Do it some more. Quit. Don't stop. Don't stop. Yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Absolutely not. Story of their friendship, huh?
100%.
Somebody just tacked a piece onto a piece that I was looking for, and then I stuck it into its spot. I scored double on that one.
Yes.
My favorite is I'm from Central America, said with the most confidence.
Huh? Yeah.
All right.
So I was playing Guild Wars and I played like the original Guild Wars a lot when it came out. And my brother finally talked me into playing again on Guild Wars 2, and I was having a blast, like just in the game playing. And yeah, so somebody from a different country came in and was asking where I was from. They were telling me where they were from, and I was like, oh, that's fun. I'm from, and I was thinking in my head, the Midwest, because I'm from the Midwest.
Right.
And I was thinking, oh, that's in the central of America. And so I just blurted out, I'm from Central America, and then immediately realized what I said. And everybody's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, oh my God, Central United States, not America. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's I'd
that'll,
never
yeah, you'll never live that one down.
ever. That is stuck forever.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely one that sits around. Like there's, I figured the longer anybody streams, the more of these moments that kind of crop up, and these are always like fun little moments. Now, you have done a lot of streams with a lot of other people and whatnot. Do you have one of these like favorite moments you have of, say, I don't know, pick anybody in your community that you play these games with regularly? Do you have like one of these moments you're like, oh, every time I think about this, I can't help but laugh hysterically at it?
Oh, it's easily the one Mike was talking about with the door, like that. Or honestly, most of my funny clips I would say are like me, Mike, and my buddy Jeff playing like Valheim, because there's just
Mm-hmm.
like just because we played it so much for so long that there's just a bunch of just dumb clips, and we're getting that way with like Icarus now that I'm playing it. We've got just a bunch of clips, but literally, I would say that's probably one of my favorite clips just because of how much I died laughing, and still when I watch it, I still chuckle and laugh to myself every single time because you can just hear him getting upset. You're not chopped liver. 90% of the clips with you, Brian, are you scaring the crap out of me on Phasmophobia.
Oh, I haven't seen any of those clips yet. I guess I'll have to go looking for those ones.
They're hidden. There's a bunch. There's okay. So now that we say that, there actually is one. I want to say it was either last year for the Phas Halloween event when they had like the pumpkin heads, and I was walking out of one of the tents, and there was a ghost
Mhm.
event, and the ghost ran in front of my screen. Like I was focused on something else, and it ran across my screen with the pumpkin head, and I just screamed, Jesus fucking Christ. Like that has become my saying, I guess you could say, on my channel. Everybody just JFC. Jesus fucking
Right.
Christ. I've been
Yeah.
told I need to make a t-shirt. I have a GIF of it, like a little emote. Yeah, Blondie posted it.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's your somebody has startled or scared you, and that's your reactionary one, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Sure. Now that's epic.
Jeff usually tries to kill me by running in, talking, and fast. There's been multiple times where the ghost just walks right past Jeff, straight to me, and like it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, that's terrible. You're like, wait, why did you leave him alone? He's like, I don't like Jeff. He tastes funny.
Yeah, he's just awkwardly well. And the bad thing is, so he used to play with his VR headset a lot,
right.
and so in game, all you see is him walking like this. Because he's sitting down. He's sitting down in his chair, and his character's just walking, and he's just like. And then when he crouches in game, his butt goes through the floor. Like,
Oh, that's so. As far as the game's concerned,
the
he's
ghost
a
just
short.
looks over him.
We're not going to bother him. We can't even see him.
I am a little bit, Brad.
It's fine. It's fine, right? I mean, those are good moments. They're always fun moments. And it's not saying that that's like particularly. We're not trying to say that it's your favorite. We're not trying to play favorites here. But the question was just more of those. Is there a good funny moment that just causes you to laugh? Yes, that's a good funny moment. Just causes you to laugh. To be fair, every time I see it, it causes me to laugh. Like it's super just infectious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those you just kind of laugh hysterically along with it. As much for you laughing as it is just as much as listening to Rutherford just losing his absolute mind over that.
That's what makes it, really. Well, you got I see
slowly
I'm
goes
laughing now.
insane. Right? That you can just slowly just hear him just losing his ever loving mind over that. Be like, you son of a.
100%.
All right. So you've done Valheim.
Mhm.
Do you, beyond the door practical joke, do you have a favorite practical joke that you have played on somebody?
Uh, I mean, a lot of it would be just like maybe playing like the Faz games or something. And that the other night, I actually did one of my favorite things to do. If I know the other person I'm playing with is streaming,
Mm-hmm.
I will be like, "Oh, we need a camera, or like we need a picture. Like, go back inside real quick," and then I'll really quickly run over to their stream and pull it up, and then do like a jump scare and scare the crap out of them. Like as soon as they walk in the house, and because like by that point it's the end of the mission, your sanity's crap, and they're walking around just like, "I'm gonna get this picture, I'm gonna get it," and then the jump scare. It is, yeah. Scaring Blondie is easily one of my favorite pastimes streaming. But I'm just a troll, so like pretty much everything kind of
Okay,
just
but
is fun.
that's you're in good company, my friend. You're in good company.
Sorry, Blondie.
Yeah, Snorri is a troll. I dug out a Squirrel had a house in the very first season we were playing together, Valheim. First time I played Valheim with her. She had a house. I dug underneath the floorboards in her house, put in a basement, and then launched fireworks up through the floor in her
Sounds
house.
amazing.
And had her like, what the shit is going on in my house? And it was in the middle of somebody else's stream that was on the server playing, and she was in his chat.
That's amazing.
So it was absolutely a good joke. I enjoyed it. It was fantastic. I spent like 2 weeks working on that. The execution, timing of it all, it couldn't have worked out any better. It was freaking hysterical.
We we had a couple moments like that when we were playing like 7 days, and it goes back to Mike because it's easy to scare Mike in games because he
Mhm.
gets so into the game. And so we were playing like a modded version of 7 Days to Die, and he had died a lot this game,
Okay.
like a lot. Just I had integrations on, just
Oh,
died a lot.
hang on. Hold on 2 seconds.
Yep.
We have a raid coming in. So we so raiders, when raids come in, we do like shout outs and everything else. All that stuff still happens for the raiders coming in. We just want to make certain that Lady of the Dark, welcome in. Thank you for bringing in your fantastic group. Welcome in. Hi, Cat Dad. We are currently interviewing. Today is our Talk Tuesday. Lady of Dark marches in with her candlelit company of onlookers. Fantastic. We are sitting here and interviewing and having a genuinely delightful conversation with Sir Bearded Waffle. He is our guest here tonight on Talk Tuesday. If you are interested in knowing all about this fantastic streamer, by all means, sit around, ask some questions, and but welcome in and thank you for coming in for this. Always a good time. Well, thank you, Cat Dad, for the recommendation. Yes, waffle. All right, you were saying now.
So we were playing 7 Days, a lot of mods. Mike had died a lot, and then I found out probably like I'd say day like 30 or 40 that we could make mannequins and or buy mannequins. And so I would just randomly, knowing where he was going to go in the base, like where he just had things set up, like he always went here and then here, like because we would make a box where it was just dump everything because Mike just loved sorting. so we called it our mic box. And
I'm sorry.
so we would dump everything in there. Go ahead.
This is fantastic. I was going to say, it's like the our second season of our Valheim server we did. Mike Rutherford was on the group that I was playing with, and we had the we called it the Nori dump box. That's I just came by and threw everything in the dump box, and inevitably it was Rutherford running around sorting the boxes. So you're like, yeah, he does that over here. I'm like, really? He does that? So he just does that everywhere. Good to know. All right, now I know how to get a hold of him.
He's really good at it. It's actually where a lot of my organization comes from.
I feel like this could be used as a weapon. I'm just saying.
But yeah, so I would randomly set up mannequins. And there was one time that I had happened to set up a mannequin so it was hidden from like the hallway that he was walking down.
Right.
And it was just outside the door, so it looked like it was a zombie coming in. And it was just one of those like, oh my God, like just scared the crap out of him. It was another fun moment.
Oh, that is fantastic. Lady of the Dark, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the network. We are doing Talk Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday. If this looks like something you're interested in doing, by all means, reach out. Let me know. Just send me a Discord DM. My name's the same thing as it is on Twitch. And we'll get you scheduled for your own interview. We love interviewing people around here. It's so much fun. See, now, when I had Brother Fjord on here to interview him, that was not something that came up an awful lot. Like, we didn't talk about the fact that he's easy to prank. I am learning new things.
That's fine.
He avoids talking about it because, you know, he doesn't want to open that can of worms. Is that what that is?
Feel like it, yeah. Why would I admit to you?
I mean, fair. He does have to. He does deal with me a little bit, and knows that I will absolutely. Though, have you ever seen his or heard his happy voice? He does this thing when you're like, oh, here's a prank. This is going to be a great idea, and he thinks it's a wonderful idea. He giggles, and he gets this like little. It's not really high pitched, but his voice does go up a few octaves. And he gets excited about it. Have you heard that one yet?
It's definitely maniacal.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell when it's a good idea because then he giggles like that. I'm like, oh, we've got a winner now.
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
Those are absolutely. Last time I heard that we were pranking Squirrel and we put zombie heads around Squirrel while she was AFK and was not in the game. There's a couple of clips on her channel about it too, because she comes back in there and it's just like in Valheim. We modded the Valheim server, and one of the mods brought in this like zombie deer head trophy. So you could mount it on the wall and this thing would just flop its head around and yell and scream, and it looked absolutely like terrifying. And so we just surrounded her. Yes.
That's awesome.
He was involved in the planning. He was like, oh, you know who we should go get Squirrel on it. She's currently like, it was part of it. That was his idea. And I'm like, wow, that was actually kind of evil.
Oh, he can be evil. 100%.
It's such a good time. Such a good time. Brother Fjord would like to know, what would your final meal be on death row?
Do I say waffle just to, go with the theme?
I mean, if that's what you want.
I knew this was going to be a question because I've seen it asked before.
That's like everybody has a few standardized questions they like to ask over and over again because they like to get the different reactions from different people. This happens to be Brother Fjord's.
I don't know. My last meal.
Mm-hmm. Last meal. You're headed for the big syrup cup in the sky.
You say it like that, I definitely want some waffles. Honestly, like now that I'm thinking about waffles, that's all I can think of. So I'm just like chicken. I could go for some chicken and waffles. Like that would be a really good last meal.
Fair.
I feel like it. Otherwise, it'd be probably just the generic like, ooh.
Generic like
I would
ooh.
want a horseshoe pizza. And if you're from where I am, you know that that's delicious.
A, I'm not from where you are, and B, never heard of that, and so you're
So,
going to have to explain.
hey, well, oh, Rutherford said, wait. Wait. You didn't know that's a thing? Yes, that's a thing. Corner Pub has them. Come on, man. Corner Pub is amazing. They've got a buffalo chicken horseshoe pizza, and it is fantastic. Just saying. So I will explain the horseshoe. The horseshoe is 2 pieces of Texas toast, and then on top of that is normally it's 2 pieces of Texas toast and then hamburgers, and then on top of that is French fries, and then we
Mm-hmm.
have like a cheese sauce from around here that's just fantastic. It's not like I hate when people are like, oh, just put nacho cheese sauce on there. No, it's not nacho cheese.
Oh.
This is a freaking cheese sauce from around. Like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just amazing, and
Mm-hmm.
that is just smothered on top of it. So it's just this plate of toast, burger, fries, smothered in cheese sauce. It's basically like if like you're Canadian, like a poutine type thing. Like if you've ever had
Okay.
that.
No, I've never had it, but I know what you're talking about.
Beer cheese. That's it. Beer cheese.
Yeah.
And then the horseshoe pizza is the same thing, but a pizza. It's just the pizza crust is the bread, and then on top of that you have the meat, the cheese, the French fries, just all smothered on. And I get a buffalo chicken one, so it's like chicken with like hot sauce and everything. It is a fat man's delight. It is fantastic, and I love it. That's what would be that would be I literally made this when I was on deployment. I would go into the mess decks and make this because I was in good with the cooks.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you get away with an awful lot if you're in good with the cooks.
Mm-hmm.
You can get your hands on some stuff. Mm-mm.
Yeah, my snacks emote because I'm always snacking on stream.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I have a box of Slim Jims next to me, like an open gas station type, just box of Slim Jims.
Oh, I usually have a bag of Lay's potato chips somewhere nearby, and I will mute myself and
Cheese
crunch
balls.
away on. I will. We'll refrain from making the obvious joke on that one. Sorry. Yes, I still have my Coke Zero. So
I have Coke Zero as well.
though earlier tonight I was drinking an IBC Black Cherry.
Ooh.
Which is like that's my like favorite sort of indulgent drink. Like, okay, if I'm going to have, I heard why people like horseshoe pizzas.
Thanks, RG.
Like, you got to know, you obviously know who our guest is tonight to make a comment like that. You can always tell when the people come into chat if they know the individual on the other side, because they start making comments like that where it's like, okay, that's not something I would know or anybody else. that's somebody who knows the individual in question, and so they're taking a jab at it. And then that always just kind of opens up this random, like, okay, now. But we've already had a few of those moments anyways, and he's talking about horseshoe pizza, and I've already asked about the horseshoe pizza. So but it still sounds absolutely delightful. But you're right. First off, just throwing nacho cheese on something and people going, oh, that's the cheese, that's wrong.
It's not even the same. I went somewhere like close to where we live. It was like a different restaurant, and they were like, oh, we've got the horseshoe, and I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And it was nacho cheese, and I wanted to send it back.
Like that's no. Please don't. Like okay. So I can't speak for Mexicans. Number one, I am Puerto Rican by birth. But I can tell you that for us, when people start talking about, oh, it's good, it's got nacho cheese on it, I'm like, that nacho cheese. No, thank you. No. Wrong thing. Don't put that in my face. I'm like, I don't know. I'm fairly certain that the nacho cheese that everybody uses is actually an American product.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy the nacho cheese.
And
I don't
it's
think I
never
ever
good,
have.
no matter how many times you get it, where you get it from. It's never good. It physically hurts my soul.
I feel that.
It's yeah.
Yes.
It's so bad. But this is not unusual for Talk Tuesday. We're talking about food. I don't know why that's the direction the topic of conversations usually go.
This food's the best.
We just start talking about food, and I'm like, okay, I'm now officially hungry. Thank you.
Yeah, usually that's how I end up snacking on stream, because somebody mentioned something, or I just randomly get hungry.
Like, okay, start time to. What am I going to do for after stream? I got some ice cream. I think I'll go get some ice cream.
I agree, Squirrel. It is. It's definitely a bringer together of people.
Yes, absolutely. Cadius Odin would like to know, what are your top 5 favorite video games?
Oh, let's just go over.
Just hang on a second. He's going to go pull up his Steam.
tell you my top ones. So if we're going like all the way back to like when I was a kid till now, like even still now, I would have to say Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, and then probably number 1, followed like by Majora's Mask, number 2, because I've always been a huge like Zelda fan.
Thank you.
Like the old school Zelda. And I played a little bit of the newer Zeldas and stuff, but I never really got that far into them. I need to get further into them. It's just when they started coming out, it was when I started having kids, and
right.
I didn't have a capture card, so I didn't stream it.
Fair. It happens.
But I would definitely say it's followed closely by like games like 7 Days to Die, where I've got over 1,000 hours in. Then I like thoroughly enjoy Satisfactory. It is one of the most satisfying games.
I can't play it.
I don't know why. I usually can't, and I will just play that for hours on end. And then like if I would say number 5, and I don't play it anymore, but it's still one of the top games that I've just loved over the years was World of Warcraft. And I mean, because I played that literally from like 2005, 2006 until probably 2021 when I finally
Hmm.
just called it quits because I just didn't like the way the story was going.
Hmm.
But it's still one of probably my top 5 games just from the nostalgia point of it and how much like it just the people I met over the time of playing it and
Yep.
just like everything. So I would say those are
Oh,
definitely the
I
top
totally
5
get
on
that.
that.
I played WoW for a number of years. Number of years. I met a
Yeah,
lot of.
Diablo's up there too. I would say Diablo 2 is probably above that. That's true. Diablo 2 is definitely. I still play that. He makes a good point. He makes a very good point. Very, very good point. Diablo 2 takes that spot. Forget everything I just said about WoW. Diablo 2 is now that point. Pico Park's a solid 6, Squawk. Solid 6. But they asked for top 5. Sorry.
Pico Park's an amazing game.
It
Oh,
is.
I had so much fun. Who was it? Who was it? It was Toasty and Tangy Bats, the Bat sisters. They were one of them was streaming it one day, and they're like, "Oh, we've got a lobby. We'll just open this up. Anybody can come jump in our Pico Park." And I'm like, "Bet." So I jumped into the Pico Park, and so here I got their stream up on one side and the game up on the other side. Like, yeah, if everybody's in here, why don't you just come ahead and hop on into the Discord call so we know who's who and whatnot. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm like, yep, not doing it. And then I just sat there and trolled them the entire time. They're like, if this
It's the
guy
best
just
stuff.
doesn't like it, you son of a.
Mhm. That was pretty much Guac and Blondie when we were playing. We also had Horse Tornado. He did do a lot of times where he would purposely jump on things,
Right.
but it was more of Guac and Blondie trying not to, and then did
Mm-hmm.
every single time. Yeah, we were laughing hysterically. Like my Steel series picks up anytime I laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And just from that like 2 hour stream that we did that, I had like 45 clips of just me like just dying laughing for 30 seconds. Like easily one of the funnest games I've played just in terms of utter chaos.
Lady, I played Diablo. When was the last time I played Diablo was way back in when the very first Diablo game came out. That was the last time I ever touched Diablo. So don't feel bad if you've not played any Diablo games. Like I played it back in the original days of what we called the clusterfuck. Like that's where that term came from. Is that game?
I would
So
say
I have,
Diablo 2 is easily one of the best.
yeah, I have a little nostalgia for the game series itself, just for game one, but I've not played any of the other ones since the very first game. So I'm like, it was a good enough game. I enjoyed it. But I
Diablo
haven't.
1 traumatized a lot of people.
Oh, it was
Fresh meat.
yeah.
And then you
You
were just
definitely,
dead.
yeah, a lot. Not like a little bit, but a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still a good time. Uh, Speaking of nostalgia games, was there ever a game you played that you were like, oh, this was like pure crap, and got rid of it just as quickly as you turned it on to start playing it?
So I would hmm. Yeah, the day before that one was terrible. That game was dead before it even took off. I literally
uh,
played 20 minutes of it, got my money back. Um, I don't. Yeah, I mean, there has. The problem is there's a lot of games that if I play it, I've done a lot of like research into it. Like I don't just buy a game. Like I'll buy a game if somebody's playing it,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that I'll enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
My library list is not very big because of that. But I would say a game that I thought was going to be maybe just completely different, and it's not what I thought it was going to be, and I probably am going to get a lot of hate from this because I know some people here like this game. Is the Tiny Glade? Like, I enjoyed that game, but it's not my cup of tea. Like, I just couldn't get into it at all.
I don't think you're going to get a lot of hate from that, because I mean that's fair. Like, if it's
Yeah.
not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea.
It's one of the games that I've bought recently, and I was like, oh, like, yeah, it's not that expensive. I'll buy it. And I tried it, and I was just like, it's fun. Like, it would be fun if I was high. Like, it's just
Okay, that
probably. I
might
mean,
get you a
I just
little hate.
maybe I just need to go upstairs and eat a gummy and then play the game. I mean, it might be a lot more fun, but I don't know. I mean, I there hasn't been a lot of like games that I've really played that I just didn't enjoy. That could be fun to watch. It could be fun to watch. It really could. Um, yeah, I don't. I'm looking at my list of games, and there's not really any games that I've hated because I give most games at least a try and we'll play
Hmm.
them for a while, and then usually they. Ooh, actually, no, there is one. There is one that I played. I bought it. I played it, and it's just not for me. I don't know why. It's a super fun game. I watch people play it all the time, but I cannot play it. Is Escape the Backrooms. Like, I Blondie and Zam wanted me to play it. I played
Hmm.
it for a little bit. I had fun, and I told him I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I've literally had 2 hours on the game. Like, it was one stream, and it's one of those games that I love scary games, and I don't know why, but I just didn't have fun in the game.
That's fair. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, so I have watched gameplay of Tiny Glade. I'm like, it's a pretty
Mhm.
enough game. I would
Yeah.
have zero talent and zero energy to try and play that. Like, there's just no way. It's not a game for me. So I wouldn't
Mhm.
even bother with it. So kudos on you for at least giving it a try, because I would have never even gotten that far. I have played. I don't think I bought the back room, but there's another one that's on the back room that they had free on Steam. So I played that one. I'm like, yeah, no,
Mhm.
pass. Um,
I don't hate every game you guys play. You guys don't even play that game. Or do you? I don't remember.
uh,
Oh, Brian did play that game. Brian
now
played the Flapper.
we got together and did a single stream for this game called SCP.
Mhm.
Um, I wouldn't even. So the game was terrifying, but not in the way that I would account most games for being terrifying, and a lot of that's probably mentally. For there was a few of us going into this, like, we're heavily drenched in like the SCP lore and whatnot.
Mhm.
Like, so when they start talking about, this SCP is loose, like, we know which one they're talking about. Like, oh god, oh god, oh god, how the fuck do we handle this, right? So there's a lot of panic because we know what we're dealing with versus some of the other players that were going in there with us, like Mr. Waggleton, for example, had no idea what any of these monsters were or anything else. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? Um, so it didn't nearly affect him as much as it did the rest of us yelling and screaming about, "Oh my God, they released this! What are we going to do?" Um, and so there's games like that, and we played it the one stream. We put 3 hours into it, and then like every one of us immediately uninstalled the game after we were done. No, just done. They're not even going back.
Yeah.
Not even a second chance. Don't even talk to us about the game. It no longer exists for us.
Yeah. I've not had that experience, but there's been I know people that have done that. Just like we enjoy a game, and they're just like, yeah, this isn't for me. Sorry. Like, we had a one guy that I ended up buying for 7 Days to Die, and he played it I've actually bought multiple people 7 Days to Die, and they would play for maybe like an hour or two, and they're just like, yeah, like thanks, but it's just not my cup of tea. I'm like, no problem.
Not my
Like,
jam, Sam.
I'm not gonna force you. Like, we just
Yeah.
like to play games with people, and if you want to play, you play. If not,
And you don't.
not gonna hold it against you.
Not too much, anyways.
Yeah, just maybe a little bit.
If your name is Lieutenant Sam, we'll name a character in the game after you.
100%, every single time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
How do you know the Lieutenant Sam? Oh, that's the one that's dragging both of his legs behind him as he's crawling around. Like that's always.
Mm-hmm. That's so messed up. Is it though?
Is it?
Is it?
I don't know. It feels very accurate to me. I got involved in a Lethal Company game with Blondie and Zam one time. And they brought in one of their crewmates. They brought him in, and so here's Zoda. He's on the other end of the walkie-talkie, and he's doing the SpongeBob wee woo reference, right? I walk into the ship. I can hear Zoda going wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, like really fast, like help, 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 get me out of here. And then it just suddenly stops, and the guy's like, "Huh, I guess he might be okay. Let me go ahead and recall him." Hits the button, and here comes Zoda's dead body back through the teleporter. He goes, "Oh, I guess Wee Woo was, he's in trouble." I'm like, how the hell? Really?
Somebody pull me out. That's funny.
Like, that's the universal sign of, oh shit. What do you mean?
I need help. That's good.
It was a good comical moment. It was a funny moment, but it was like one of those, like, really? You had to have that explained to you. I has many questions now. It's fantastic. Kalinar, I don't honestly think that he hates you. I can't say anything about Jeff though.
No. Kalinar, I hate.
I
hate him.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's my brother.
Fair.
I don't hate you guys. I've never hated you guys. Maybe Jeff sometimes, but never together at the same time all the time. Jokingly. We'll go with that.
That's a lot of work at the same time.
It is.
Like one at a time is fine. Like sure, I can do the hate one at a time, but at the same time, oh, now you're just talking about putting in some work. Ugh. Swiss Squirrel does want to know, do you have a favorite game that you won't stream? If so, what is it and why won't you stream it?
I love city builders, like City Skylines, like the Manor Lord game. I mean, I've tons of them. I've got like this game Foundation, Going Medieval, Farthest Frontier. I don't know why. I love playing those games. I will just never stream them. It's just one of those that it's kind of, those are like my, I need time for me just to like wind down. And those are just like my comfort games. They always have been. And it's just I enjoy streaming them myself, or not streaming them, but just playing them myself and just kind of relaxing and not having to think and just pay attention to chat. I can just focus on the game and just build massive, just ridiculous cities that are terrible, and the traffic is absolutely horrible. Everything's red, but you know what? It looks good to me, and that's all that matters. I've thought
Mm.
about it eventually, like one of the days, like especially like there's a lot of days where like I'm just like, what do I want to play today? Like I don't know if I
Mhm.
want to stream these games. Like I have like the like Surviving Mars. I played that. It's kind of like a city builder, but you're on Mars. Like I played that on stream before, but it was just kind of like a last minute. I have nothing, but I don't want to not stream.
Right.
So that's that's
So
why I
so
just
you stream
I
it
have
as a
games.
matter of course.
Yeah. Like I'll stream it in like Discord to people. Like if there's somebody online and we're hanging out, like I'll stream in Discord, but like it's just for some reason they're just games that I just don't ever stream online and I don't it's just it's just kind of my comfort game, I guess you could say. Just
No, it's fair.
stream
I
it
mean,
with stream it in shorts and my t-shirt off and don't really want to put a shirt on, you know?
I totally get that. You know, it's my game. It's not everybody else's game. This is for me.
Mhm.
Um, we'll see you guys next time. I- but you know, uh, I find, and I can't say the same for you. I don't know where you stand at in that, but I find that streaming a lot of games is good and fun. But you
Mhm.
end up in a situation where, okay, I feel like I want to play this game. Oh, but wait, I'm streaming that game. If I start playing that game, then that spoils things. I learn things, whatnot, and you know some of the joy people get of watching you stream a game is those reactions of things that are first time things. You're like, oh, um,
Mhm.
and so you get into this quandary of like, well, I don't want to take that away from.
That is a lot of like I my brother and Sidrum or Jeff always give me a lot of
Mm-hmm.
crap because I constantly am swapping games, and that's one of the main reasons is because like if I'm bored or something, and like my dopamine's like, oh my god, 7 days is like my shit right now. Like I want to play this constantly, and so I will just play it on stream. I'll play it off stream, and then I'll just get to a point where like I've played so much of the game that I'm burning myself out. And then I'm
Yep.
like, okay, well, I want to stream something else. And everybody's like, oh, you've been on the game for, 5 days. When in reality, I've probably played it for over a month.
Right.
So
You've been nonstop, just hardcore
just,
grinding away at it.
yeah. And it's my fault because like whenever I go into like playing a game, like I play a game. Like I get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this piece? Okay, maybe it doesn't go there. I feel like it does. No, it goes here. You're dumb. Jesus. Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's just fine. I picked this
Why won't
puzzle
you
out. I'm
fit?
like, I probably should. 600 pieces should be fine. We shouldn't like whip this one out and like any real time. And I'm turning around and looking at this. I'm like, no, we're almost done with this. I'll have to go find a new puzzle. It's fine.
I'm just trying to get at least above 100, or at least 100.
It's fine.
Right there. Yeah.
I've stolen a few pieces from some people. Wow. Wars was complaining earlier. She's like, I'm lagging behind everybody, and she's
Yeah,
got
I
the most
know.
points on the board. I'm like,
182.
really?
Jeez. Jeez, wars.
Like for real, right?
Immediately leaves.
All right. Well, give me a second. I will go fetch us up another puzzle because we still have some time. Um, where, oh where? Meanwhile, while I'm doing that, um, now is there a game that you have that you only ever play on stream?
Um, no. I try. I'd say the one that I played the least off of stream would probably be like Helldivers, because I usually try to stream that just because we have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun playing it, and I usually stream with other people. That would probably be the one game that I try to play the most on stream.
Right.
But I would say most games that I've streamed, I play off stream as well.
Okay. So for you, it doesn't matter one way or
Mm,
the other.
yeah.
Now, how do you handle the like the first time? Like, oh, it's my first playthrough of a game. Like, do you just stream nonstop for a week straight? Is that basically, or forever long?
Uh, no, I mean, so, like, well, for example, like we just did, like Space Marine,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of that, that's okay. That's I would say that's the game that recently I've done. I've just done more Helldivers, but Space Marine, I basically made it a point that like I would log onto the game outside, but I wouldn't do anything. It was more of just like customizing my armor and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one game that just we played strictly on, and so I mean, yeah, I would say that maybe. I don't. It's kind of just. It was one of those that like I knew there was going to be it was going to be heavy story based, and so I didn't want to take even like the side missions, because the way that they built that game was kind of
Right.
cool, where you have the main story, and then they've also got like these little like operations that you can do, but they tie in with the game. So if you don't get the operate, like if somebody's you're watching and like you're doing the story and you skip the operation, like it doesn't really affect the story, but you get to see the other side of like your character running through the mission, calling on these guys, and it's like, hey, what are you doing? And then you can actually play as those guys. So that was one game that I didn't want to um, really play outside of stream. It was more of I wanted to make sure that we had all the story there.
Right.
And I would say that's probably more or less a lot of the time. Like whenever I do story driven games, I will try not to play them off stream. Like one of the big ones that I did recently was A Plague's Tale, and I strictly only played that on stream. It was not a off stream
Right.
at all. That was almost 2 years ago now. Jesus, I said recently. Forgot Guac's been around forever. She came to us in that stream. You want to talk about games that I wish I could go back and experience for the first time?
Mm-hmm.
That is easily one game that I wish I could go back and just delete all of my memory about it and play it fresh again for the first time.
Really?
It is an amazing game. I don't like say that a lot about games, but that
Mm-hmm.
game just story-wise was amazing. I mean, there was easily a time where there were multiple people in chat and myself included crying at the game because it was just tugging on the heartstrings with the story of it. It was really good.
Ah.
As Guac
Yeah.
says, her husband was making fun of her because she was ugly crying at the end of the campaign.
See, that's probably where I would the downside for me. I'm not much of a story gamer
Mhm.
player, right? I grew up well, so I when games were coming out for me, they were on the old 8-bit systems. Like stories, you want to know the story of the plot of the game or whatnot that you were playing, you went and read the manual. That's where the story was at.
Mhm.
Like there just wasn't enough space on the cartridges and whatnot to do
Yeah.
all the fancy scenes or anything else. And so you basically played a game because you wanted to get all the way through, beat it, see the credits. Plot wise, everything else that you needed, you could get that out of the storybook. So I, even to this day, I find that I have a hard time sitting down with these games that want to lead you to a plot device that's in the game. I'm like, no, I can skip that. Ding, skip. Just I want to get to the credits because that's
Yeah.
still my mentality. And so I'm like, I don't sit down and I don't play these story driven games and I don't stream them because my tendency is to, oh, look, it's a cutscene. Skip. Let's move along.
Yeah. And I love watching cutscenes, so
Wars likes to chastise me because it's like, no skipping cutscenes. Like I played through Elden Ring. I did my first time playthrough on Elden Ring. Literally skipped all the cutscenes all the way through. Just like, get me into the boss fight. I don't care about this. Whatever.
I love the cutscenes.
Well, when I did a solo, I did a co-op, seamless co-op with her, following after my first playthrough all the way through, and she's like, no. So she would go in, purposely set off all the fights ahead of me, and then force me to sit through the cutscene. I'm like, we gotta sit through cutscenes.
Oh, there's definitely times I play games and there's a cutscene, and I'll look down in the bottom corner and there's like 2 out of 3 people trying to skip the scene, and I'm just like, no, I'm watching it. I enjoy this.
But for me, for me, it's a struggle thing, right? Because again, a lot of the games I had growing up, even the role playing games, Final Fantasy and Legends of Zelda, Adventures of Link, and all of those, legitimately the entire plot for the whole story, find in the manual. Sit down, read the manual from beginning to end, learn how to get all the controls, learn all the bad guys you're going to deal with, and learn about the reason why you're playing this game. And then that's it. Get in there and wreck face.
Yeah. Well, like, I feel that because like behind me, I've got my setup now with like my older systems and everything. And one of the games I have is Zelda for the 64. And my son was like, oh, what, like, because he recognizes some things, like he likes playing the Sonic that I have for the Genesis and stuff.
Right.
So I was showing him Zelda on the 64, and I was like, man, am I going to remember how to play this? Because it's been literally forever since I picked up a 64 controller, let alone played the games. And it was just like muscle memory from the amount of times like playing that as a kid and going through all the different, like tutorials on how to do things, like reading the books, like, oh, this is what you do. This is how you unlock this. This is what how you have to do. And like having that big thick book that you had like back in the day, like just I could picture the pages and go through and play in it.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's a totally different, like I tell everybody, I'm like, it's a different experience back in those days versus the way that it is now. Not to say that it's what people have now is wrong or bad or anything else. It's just different. So a lot of times I get into this habit where I multiplay a game. I go back to it and play it again, second time through. And the second time through, I will stop and do my best to watch all the animations, everything else, because now I'm more in my brain gets into, because I used to do speed running back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So you play through the first time to get an idea of how the game plays, to get a good feel for it and everything else. And then on the second time through, you're playing through to try and figure out, well, how can I figure out my route, perfect the way to run through it. And so you take it a little slower. And so for me, it was easy to make that switch. So, okay, this is the second game. I'll sit through and watch the whatever and go through everything. And I'm just going to treat it like I'm planning a speed running route. And so I'm just, okay. And I'll read the storylines and whatnot in the game as we go through that. But it's not just, yeah.
That's one of my biggest downfalls is if I play a game once, like through the story, I never go back to it. I don't know why. I just don't. Like I've got the Horizon Zero Dawn. I played that. I got probably 3/4, maybe halfway through the game, 3/4, and my save file got corrupted on it.
Oh no.
And I have tried to restart it, and I physically just can't. It's just because my brain's like, you've done this before. Like, if I could get the save back to where I was, I would do it. But I don't know why. I can't, and it sucks.
Interesting.
Because I really enjoyed the game.
Well, watch out for Squirrel, because I think Squirrel has played that multiple times over. That was so Squirrel took on playing that game and playing it and streaming it because quote unquote her, everybody else that was currently streaming it and doing it, we're doing a horrible job at it, and so she spitefully got up there and streamed it to show everybody how to do it properly.
Now, I will say I haven't tried to play in a while, and I may be at the point now that I probably could, because this was also like way back when I was still on Facebook when I tried streaming it, which was 2020. So
Been a few years.
I mean, there's a possibility that I probably could again. It's just downloading it and wanting to take the time to play the solo game. Probably be whenever Jeff and Brian make me mad enough, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna play a game by myself for a while.
Now, do you play a lot of group? Would you say you're more of a group player or a soloist player when you do your streams?
Group. Yeah, I play a lot with groups. I mean, I will do solo games and solo plays. I found that I feed a lot more off of people. I feed off of chat, and then I also feed off of people in the game, and it just kind of really helps the flow of everything. And but I mean, I enjoy both. Like, there are times where I'm wanting to stream and I'm like, man, I really want to play a game with people. Like, it's just fun. It's times like I want to hang out with people, and then other times where I'm just like, I just want to be alone, play a game by myself. So I'll do solo games. And so I mean, it's kind of just depends on the mood I'm in.
Okay.
But for the most part, I'm a game, like a group gamer.
Well, I get that. I think I find I prefer group game events over solo activities. Like, I will do solo activities, but more often than not, my preference is to play with other people because it's always more fun. It's easier. I don't always, like, I hate talking to myself. And as a streamer, you know, when you do solo work, if chat's not talking to you, you're talking to yourself. And I'm like, okay, I am a fairly boring conversationalist talking to myself, because at that point I just kind of shut down and I just stare at the screen.
Yeah, I have that problem too a lot, where not so much with like the story-based games, because I'll kind of just talk about the story while I'm going through and just kind of narrate what I'm doing. But whenever I'm playing, like, you know, like 7 Days or Valheim or like Icarus, it's one of those that, like, it really just sucks my attention in, and so that's what I'm focused on, and I'm not really paying attention to anything else. And the other people in the game with me kind of break me out of that monotonous, like, okay, I'm on the game, this is what I'm doing, I'm not doing anything else. Having people there kind of just breaks me out of that, keeps me
it forces you to interact. Yeah And it's a solid run for that. Like, it's a useful tool. Oh boy, we're going back to food. Okay. Guac Ward 77 for the both of you. Entirely not game related. That's fine. We don't care about that. What's your favorite weird food combination?
Mine's disgusting. It's 100% disgusting. I don't know why. My dad, for some reason, made it one time when we were younger, and it is, like, thinking about it, it's disgusting. But when I ate it, it was good. I don't know how to describe it. I'm gonna get judged hardcore for this. I really don't care.
That's one of those questions we're always going to get judged on, so it's fine.
But it's peanut butter and mayonnaise. Yeah. Yep. You guys can't see it, but he's face palming right now.
It's just like I was prepared.
It is disgusting.
Honestly, anything that was not that
you're never prepared for that ever. The dots. Yeah, yeah, guac. Yeah. What in the Caucasian cuisine? 100%. 100%. It is disgusting. But fuck. Look, all right. So there's that. Then if you ask Jeff, he eats mayonnaise or mustard sandwiches, just mustard. And not like a
Why?
spicy brown mustard, like the crappy, just basic mustard. If
Dude,
I'm
Jeff,
getting drugged
who
down by a
hurt you?
crappy sandwich, Jeff's getting dragged down with a crappy sandwich too. Don't you diss French's yellow? Throwing him out there like that. 100%, Brian.
Like, Jesus, who hurt you boys? That's like, okay. So, Elvis Presley did his, what was that? Peanut butter, banana, bacon. It's like, what?
It did have bananas on it. There's that too.
I don't remember what
It's-
the freaking sandwich. It's
the mayo that gets people.
It's just wrong.
It is 100%.
Mostly it's wrong because I know mayo is just eggs and vinegar, salt, pepper if you want it, that sort of thing. But it's mostly eggs and vinegar. And I'm like, no.
To be fair, I have not had this in probably 10 years, if that. Like, it's been longer, probably.
Okay, so we're talking weird food combinations, and we'll carry this conversation over into just weird, bizarre food you've eaten. Period. Just because that's inevitably where this kind of tracks to, anyways. For me, weird food combination. Most people give me a hard time about it, but the one that I do an awful lot that most people like, why, is peanut butter, jelly, and cheese. Now, to me, that's not weird. Like, you throw a piece of cheese in the middle of your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you don't taste the cheese. All it does is just give you a meatier. And by meatier, I mean just more happier mouthfeel. Like peanut butter and jelly by itself, because I eat smooth peanut butter. I don't do the nuts. But yeah, if you just throw a piece of cheese in the middle of that, like strawberry with a mild cheddar and peanut butter, there's no cheese flavor. You don't taste the cheese. The jelly is very rich, and the peanut butter is almost muted. It like inverts the flavor of the whole sandwich. So it's more like eating a very jelly rich, and it's more enjoyable as far as I'm concerned to chew it and eat it. That's me.
I can see that.
But that's usually where I get called on for like weird.
Oh no, I beat you on that. Yours sounds normal compared to mine.
Yeah, totally. Until we start talking about the stuff that I used to get from my folks down in Puerto Rico, where they would send up frozen rotten fish. Like legitimately, what we do is we go down, we fish the fish out, you scale it, whatnot, you wrap it in banana leaf, throw it with salt, tie it up, bury it in the backyard for like 7 days, and then you pull it out and stick it immediately into the freezer. And then you cook that stuff. And you want to talk about stank up the house.
I can imagine. That does not sound appetizing.
It's not bad.
But I bet it's not bad either.
You pull it out, you fry it up. Yeah. You when you're ready to eat it, you take it out of the freezer. It's still in the banana leaf. You cut the strings, you peel the banana leaf off, and what you've got is this paste, this brown paste in the middle of it. You just throw it in the frying pan with a little bit of oil and some plantains. And other than the smell, it's
just the smell.
Look, like we have to forewarn each other when we're fixing to cook that stuff. If I'm
Oh, I can
visiting,
imagine.
they're like, we're gonna cook this. Okay, good to know, because you don't show up until after it's done cooked.
I can see
Like
that.
the windows are open in the house. We have fans in there pointing out to suck all of the air in. You're trying to make the house as much of a vacuum as you can to get the smell out as fast as you possibly can. Yeah.
I can.
But
I
after
can
that,
imagine.
it's fantastic. Grew up eating the stuff, so I don't think anything about it. Most people are like, "That's disgusting." Well, it's no different than Japanese people who eat rotten soybeans.
Jesus, Brian. He said, "Sounds like my mom's cooking." God damn. Uh, Weirdest thing I've eaten. Well, it's not socially acceptable in America.
Oh, we're
Because
doing these.
I
I can do these.
I have been. Well, here's the weirdest thing I've ever eaten. Um, I've been overseas. I've been in some foreign countries that have
Oh
different
yeah.
delicacies than we do. And we went to a place one time, and somebody asked. They were like, "Oh, can we get a hamburger?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." So they brought us a hamburger, and
Don't
somebody was
ask
like,
what the
"Oh,
meat is.
it tastes really good. What is this?" And the guy goes, "Oh, it's dog." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." I mean, it was delicious.
Oh yeah, Fido's tasty.
I'm not
Tasty.
going to say that I didn't get a second one, but it was just kind of like, "Oh, that's what that was." Okay. I had one more, Brian. One. But it definitely
Okay.
threw me off. That, or
What?
like I've had like live squid, or not live, but like it was on a plate and they put salt on it and it made it start like wriggling,
Yep.
and then we ate it and you can literally feel it squirming
Wiggle.
all the way down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Done that. As far as the dog goes, that was actually a regular thing that we used to eat on the island in Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
We would have a wild dog on a regular basis. So totally get the dog. Yeah, makes fantastic hamburgers.
It was really good. Sadly, I was just like, it's not little Fido. Like, just get that out of your head. It's okay.
I have so much fun. Okay, let's be fair about this. I have fun with people when you start telling them like, "Oh, what's the weirdest thing you've had?" Well, I've had dog. They're like, "Dog?"
Mhm.
Like, yeah. And you watch them instantly. They reach down, and they grab their little puppies or whatnot, and you're like, "Nah, I wouldn't eat that Chihuahua. It ain't good for about 2 bites." They just kind of look at you like, "Huh?"
You're a monster.
Oh, your dog's okay. Fido there doesn't have enough meat on his bones. Roasted crickets aren't bad. Candied ants are better.
I've had anchovies and green apples on pizza before.
Anchovies and green apples.
Yep.
I
We went to some
can't
wedding.
stand anchovies, so you've already.
We went to some wedding and they had that. It was like they were like, "Oh man, you got to try this. It's this pizza. Got to get it." And I'm like, "All right." I mean, I have a thing. I will try everything at least once with food.
Yep.
And I've forced my wife to do this as well whenever we go on vacations or anything, because she will not try anything. And so if we go on a vacation, once a day, I have you have to try it. If we're somewhere and she doesn't want to, like, she's like, "I'm never trying that," I have a one-time use each day of, "I want you to try it." And so she'll at least give it a try. And if she doesn't like it, I don't ever bring it back up again. But I at least have her try it to tell me if she will like it. And so when we were driving through Minnesota, I was trying so hard. to find Rocky Mountain oysters. So hard. So hard to find them because I was like, I'm saving my you have to try these because I wanted her to eat a fucking Rocky Mountain oyster. And we could not find one, and I was so sad.
Oh, that's mean.
100%.
It's fantastic. But yeah, that's
I do it with my kids. Like Roxanne, I do it with my kids, and they literally they will eat anything. They're not
yeah.
picky eaters. Like my wife's sister, like her kids for the longest time, all they would eat would be like chicken and mac and cheese. Like that's it. Chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. If you went somewhere like somebody's house like for Thanksgiving and they
Mhm.
had this huge meal, Christmas, whatever, you had to have chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, otherwise they would not eat. And I'm like, no, my kids
No,
literally will eat
no.
anything.
What?
We are still married with 3 kids, Mike.
You got to be able to eat more than just chicken nuggets, mac and cheese.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No.
You don't get a free pass on that. No.
Mm-mm. That's been one that I've never let them. Anytime they're like, "Oh, that's what I want," I'm like, "Well, tough. Like, figure it out. You got to try something else."
Pick something else. You're not getting that. That's not happening. Oof.
Homemade banana bread. I love me some homemade pumpkin bread.
I have tried it. I am not a fan. Of course, I'm not much of a nut fan either. So if somebody's cooking something that's got pecans or walnuts or almonds in it, and I'm just no, thank you. I will pass on that quick. Now, what is the worst thing that you have ever eaten that you're like, oh God, I have so much regrets after putting that in the mouth?
Pineapple. I hate pineapple. Can't stand it. Don't know why. It's just one thing that I can't do.
Okay.
I've never been able to enjoy the taste of it. I don't. And
You're
the
not
bad
the
thing
first
is,
person that said that, which is
the bad
why
thing
I'm like,
is it used to be potatoes, and that was more forced because I used to eat potatoes a lot when I was a kid, and I had gotten a second plate. My mom didn't know I'd gotten a second plate, and so she's like, "Oh no, you have to finish your plate. Like you can't get up from the table if you don't finish it." And I had gotten like a massive helping. Yeah, I threw it all up.
oh yeah. Well, okay. When you throw up food, that tends to be like, no, I'm just kind of done.
Yeah, I got food aversion from that.
Ooh.
But I'm slowly getting back to it.
Yeah, that'll definitely cure you of wanting to eat certain things. I had Twizzlers one year that I ate and like immediately vomited it back up, and I can't. Oh,
It's just me.
it's like, the hell. Yeah, I had Twizzlers one year, and I violently threw the stuff back up right after eating it, and I have never been able to look at Twizzlers again without getting like burpy. I'm like, no, don't even.
Yeah. So I can't eat black licorice because of Jägermeister.
Fair.
My 21st birthday, I decided that I was going to try to do 21 shots. Um, we went out at 6 and we were back at my apartment by 9. And they were dropping me off because I was gone. I woke up the next morning with 25 marks on my hand, like down my arm, where I was marking every time I took a shot. I woke up in covered in protein powder and bleach. Like it had burned my pants all the way down, pure white. I had chemical burns on the front of my legs.
Oof.
Yeah. So I tried to go to the bathroom apparently, and I fell and knocked over into the laundry room, multiple shelves. So
Does not sound like a good
every
time, my friend.
every year, I'm 35 now, and every year since my 21st birthday, I have been texted by a few people, don't eat bleach on your birthday. So
Fair. Not something I would advise anybody to do. Jesus. You know, these things happen.
Yeah. It was
just like pumpkin.
It was not a good time.
And guac, I'm not allergic to nuts. Like I can eat the nuts. I just can't stand the taste of nuts. And as far as pineapple, I can't say it's just a taste thing for you for pineapple. Or?
I don't know. Maybe I am allergic to it. I have no idea. I just don't. I can't. I smell it. I'm like, nah. My wife loves it. My kids love it. They'll eat it all the time. The moment I try it, I'm like, I just spit it back up.
Fair.
Guac, also, I'm judging you hardcore because I am a basic white girl, and you not liking pumpkin hurts.
I mean, no, I got nothing. Like I could come to the no, I can't come to the defense. I got nothing. I'm not big pumpkin fan, but you know that's me.
That's not true, Guac.
Oh.
Because you had a beer the other day that tasted like pumpkin, and you liked it.
Oh.
Exactly, Brian. It was pumpkin spice. I'm waiting for that. Just picture the SpongeBob meme while she's saying it. That one wasn't the pumpkin one. Oh, right. You did have was it the Warlock one you had? You tried the pumpkin one that Romp had, though, didn't you? I don't know. I thought it was pumpkin. I enjoy pumpkin. I've always enjoyed pumpkin. But I'm basic. What can I say?
No, if you're enjoying it, that's. I always say, you know, if around here we don't yuck anyone's yum. Like that's like rule number one. If they're enjoying it, then continue enjoying it. That's fine. I drank it, but it wasn't my favorite. Well, he at least tried it. He, they, she. Yeah, guac. He. Yep.
Oh my God. Jesus. You weren't kidding. I didn't click on that puzzle for a while. That ad just scared the crap out of me.
I warned you.
You did.
I did warn you.
Yeesh.
All I hear is just geez. I'm like, what? And I look over there and I see getting flashbang. I'm like, oh, he got a commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either get them at the start, or you'll if you don't get them at the start, then you will definitely get them if you just let the game, if you just let it sit there. Yeah. It'll come back and be like, yeah, remember the ad you were supposed to get? Yeah, here it is.
keep moving around. Keep moving around.
Yeah, that's why even now, like if I'm not doing anything piecewise, I still I will still come over here and just like drag the map around a little bit. It's enough for the game, for the webpage to go, oh, he's not falling asleep yet, so don't feed him a commercial. I'm like, yes, please. I don't want commercials. But it's a free puzzle game that a bunch of people can jump in and play. So it's one of the reasons why it was picked, and we continue to do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I enjoy doing puzzles. It's just
Yeah, that ad'll get you.
they scare the crap out of me.
It scared a number of people. It's been. You would not be the first one, and I don't think you'll be the last. So
Probably not.
It's always a good time, though. But yeah, no, I'm not big into pumpkins.
Okay, not everybody is.
Well, it's one of those things. I think culturally, I say culturally, I think as a people, we grew up eating certain things. Like you always eat as you grow up. You grow up eating certain foods, and so you don't think anything of it. Meanwhile, somebody else coming from somewhere, a different culture, different area, country, different whatever, they're going to be like, "You eat what?
Yeah.
Why?" Who hurt you growing up? What are you talking about? This is the way we ate.
Yeah. Well, and like to Quack's comment there of a textural person, like that's a lot of like my aversions, I would say, is the texture of foods. Like with potatoes, like I will eat French fries, I will eat like chips, the little, I can't even think of it right now, potato skins. I've started to eat like baked potatoes a little bit. Like if I've got, because there's a place that we can get like a baked potato like smothered in like chili and cheese, like shredded cheese on it, and it's just amazing with some jalapenos. I can do
Right.
that. But like you give me mashed potatoes and it's that gritty feeling. I can't. I literally just the moment I get the gritty feeling from a mashed potato, I cannot do it. Because that's what I got sick off of.
Okay. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to catch flack for this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Next time you go to have mashed potatoes, and you're making them, I always make your own homemade mashed potatoes. Number one, first and foremost. But number two, if you get mashed potatoes, throw mayonnaise in them. The mayonnaise will help because the mayonnaise, the vinegar and the extra bit of fats and whatnot from the mayonnaise actually helps to break down the grittiness of the potato, and so it smooths out your mashed potatoes.
Nice. I will say there was I don't know if it was like a Thanksgiving or something a couple years ago that my brother and his wife did bring like some like cheddar mashed potatoes or whatever, and with like bits of bacon in them. Those were good.
Yeah,
but they were also homemade. And
oh yeah, first off, homemade mashed potatoes are always bar none better than anything you're going to get anywhere else.
Yeah. Brian, don't let Elsa know that I said that. Unless you were the one that made them, then it's okay.
Quick, cover it up. We admit to nothing around here.
You gave me and her a compliment. Yes, I did. Those were probably the first mashed potatoes that I've actually eaten and enjoyed.
There you go.
In a long time.
And there you go. Learn something new on a Talk Tuesday.
Always.
Oh, I enjoy these things because it's always about learning something new. And I'm a big fan of always learning something new, at least once a day. I figure if I'm not learning something new, then I might as well stick me in the grave. I'm dead at that point.
I feel that way. Like there's definitely like when it comes like with my job, like if I'm not
Hmm.
learning something new, it's like a boring just oh my god, when is this going to be over? But then the moment I, get assigned something new or have to learn how to do something, I'm like, "Oh, this is fun.
Oh,
Let's figure this
yeah.
out. Let's go through
Mm,
for the next 5 hours and try to figure out how to do this."
right. It's a thing. I enjoy learning. Like I love going to school. Even as a kid, it was like, oh, it's time to go to school. Yes, please, let's go. Um, it was not
You
very
apparently would
popular.
you would think I loved going to school cuz I was in college from like 2011 to 2019 when I finally graduated, but I also didn't
Nice.
know what I wanted to be when I grew up. A lot of so it's kind of funny. So with ADHD, sometimes when somebody tells you that you can't do something, that becomes your sole purpose in life is to prove them wrong.
Yep.
Um,
Hmm.
so I used to drive a semi and deliver soda, and that's what I did. Nothing in IT. Never had a job in IT at all. And I was down at a brewery with a bunch of friends, and this guy that one of the guys knew was there, and he was like talking about doing social engineering and stuff. And I was like, honestly, that sounds fun. I think I could figure that out. And he was like, no, I don't think you could do it. And so I took that as a personal like
Oh
goal.
yeah.
I changed my entire career. Like I was going to be a history teacher. Like I was completing a history degree and teaching like associates and like going in. I was going to be a
Hmm.
teacher. And then when I was told that, I was like, all right, I'm going to prove this guy wrong. And so I immediately started looking into what classes I would need to take. Started taking the classes, and yeah, I ended up getting better grades. I was straight A's through college after that. Passed everything, got everything done, got the job, and then I'm like, all right, now that I'm here, is this what I want to do? But it's one of those jobs that keeps me engaged and keeps me entertained. So
Right.
there's always something new. So it worked out. Just doing like coding and stuff is definitely it's a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I'll say that.
Fair. But I always wanted to work in computers. From the time I was 13, when my father brought home a computer from the Navy. They're like, we couldn't figure out how to make this work, and so I brought it home, and I was going to spend some time over the weekend, and he spent some time. He's like, I can't figure out how to get it to work, and I'm like, oh, cool, and sat down. And 45 minutes later, I'm up, and hey, look, it works.
Yeah.
Read the instruction manuals. I always wanted to work on computers. And by the time I hit the age where I could actually take up a job and start working, it occurred to me that I would need a skill of some sorts. And I was like, well, I don't think anybody's going to pay me to to play on a computer all day, because that's what I enjoy doing. I like banging on a computer and figuring out and solving complex problems and coming up with uh, algorithms to do X, Y, or whatever problem needs to be resolved that for. So I
Yep.
went to, from the time I was able to start working at 15 all the way up until, I wouldn't say mid 20s. I worked for a sawmill. I was a welder. I did wheelchair transports. I did professional landscaping. I did roofing and plumbing and siding and electrical work, and like I literally went from job to job to job and just picked
Hmm.
up all different kinds of skill sets, because I'm like, there's nobody going to pay me to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And about my mid 20s, somebody said, hey, I will pay you to do that stuff.
I
Like,
I did
so
welding when I was in the military, and it's a lot of fun.
it is a lot of fun. Um,
There's just
I
not a
had
lot of
a
jobs around where I'm at for that.
yeah, I had a lot of fun welding. Um, and I say that I had the when I worked for this welding company, and I started out at the bottom and I was the little gopher guy, which basically meant that for the start of it I had to paint all of the fresh places where we would go and do repair welds or whatever else. Like we traveled to different various companies and areas in there and fixed metal girders and everything that was falling apart, like maintenance
Yeah.
stuff. Um, Occasionally people would order stuff that needed to be prefabbed in house, and then we would ship it onto a flatbed and send it out. But for the most part, basically what boiled down is I would show up to the job site, to the offices there, and then I would go hop in a truck and we would go to different places.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the cleanup guy and make everything look nice guy. And I will never forget what got me, made it possible for me to start welding for them was we had just finished welding up a walkway, and they needed to paint the underside of it. And so they tasked me to paint the underside of it. They're like, well, here you go. You go paint the underside of it and we'll get out of here when you're done. And they handed me a ladder, and the expectation was I would go up the ladder, paint a few feet, go back down, move the ladder, go back up, paint a few feet, go back down. And I was sitting there, I'm looking at this, and I've got this big 20-foot walk path that I have got to paint on the underside of this. And I'm like, like we got the safety harnesses, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, we got some rope. Yep. And so I literally lashed myself to the underside of this walkway, and Spider-Man crawled my way on the underside and painted it from one side to the other. I was done in like 10 minutes. They're like, okay, you want to start? You look like you need something actually more terrifying than what you just finished dealing with. So how about we teach you how to weld?
Yeah.
I'm like, cool.
That's yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of places that we had to go into that were just like, oh, that's where we're doing. Okay, yep, fine, whatever.
Yep. Just dive right on in there. Now, have you done any underwater welding?
Nope.
No.
Never did underwater welding. Thought it'd be fun, just never got into it. Never got the schooling for it when I was in the military because I didn't do a lot of it when I got out. It was just mostly when I was in.
Well, thought I would ask. Some people, I hear you can make a lot of really good money as an underwater welder.
Make a lot of money as an underwater welder. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, stupid amounts of money.
Make a lot of money welding. It's just you got to drive to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well,
like there was one, because I did do a little schooling when I got out just to get like certifications and stuff. And there was one job that they wanted that we drove to. It was in the middle of Iowa. Absolutely, like the closest town was 3.5 hours away, and it was Des Moines, Iowa. And then the other direction was like Bismarck. And I was like, where like they're like, yeah, that's the closest Walmart to where you're at. Like you have to get a cooler, fill it with ice to get your food home. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It was like a town of like 200 people, a little Amish town, but I mean it was like 50-60 bucks an hour doing welding on trains. And I was like, I mean it would be worth it, but not to be isolated in the middle of nowhere with nothing.
I mean, yeah, you got to question that location where you get stuck at with some of those.
Yeah,
I mean, that sounds.
Plus, at the time, I was just starting to talk to my wife, so like, I didn't want to move and go away. And, like, I mean, you want to go to the middle of Iowa with me? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, yeah, we won't do that.
Yeah, no, I can see that being like a big no. I'll pass, hard pass. Thank you very much.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's fantastic. Now, I mean, you said, and I love this because brother, if you're in there, have you grown up? I don't know.
No, I haven't. If you ask anybody around me, I have not grown up. I've never grown up. I will forever be a big kid.
Well, okay. To be honest, has any of us ever grown up?
I would say no.
I would say probably not. I mean, you know, we're here late in the evening, you know, talking about video games and playing puzzles.
I mean, I have a literal video game system behind me set up with all my games from when I was a kid. Like, I'll never grow up. We've gotten older. We haven't matured to the expectation. Exactly.
Okay.
I've gotten older, but I will not mature at all.
To be fair, I don't think that our parents have exactly matured to the expectation of their parents either. I mean, I just sitting there thinking about my grandfather and the stuff that he would say about my father. I'm like, yeah, no, grandpa was never happy with dad. I think just before he passed away, he kind of accepted the fact that my dad was going to be who he was and he was never going to change.
Yeah, that's kind of how like my dad's dad was with him. I believe when he was dying, I want to say the first time that he ever told my dad he loved him was when he was on his deathbed. And so, like, that's how my dad knew he was going. So, like, they never had that relationship.
Wow.
So
That's, well, I mean,
so yeah, I don't think he ever lived up to his expectations. I will never live up to my parents' expectations. I burned those bridges a long time ago.
I don't even try.
My brother, on the other hand, could shit in his hand and hand it to him, and he meets all their expectations.
Oh,
He's the favorite.
wow, one of those ones, huh? That's fantastic.
Put it this way: there was literally one time I was house sitting for them, and he was like, we both were, and I had messaged her and was like, "Hey, order us a pizza." She's like, "No, I'm not. Like, just figure out your own dinner." He messaged her 5 minutes later, and we had pizza at the house in 15 minutes.
Wow.
I was like, "Oh, I know where I stand." Jeez.
Oh, jeez. Are you the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Okay. I'm like,
I was closer with my dad. He was closer with my mom.
I am getting all kinds of older brother, the eldest brother vibes here. I've got two younger brothers. I am also the eldest of the family, and I know that pain so well because it's like you get no, and they get absolutely. Hang on. We'll get that to you. The silver platter, silver plate. Yeah, no problem. You want what? Sure, absolutely. You can have that. Yeah, I know that feeling all too well. It's fine. It's fine. Kind of get used to that sort of thing, and over time you're like, yeah, it just doesn't do any good to hold on to that.
Oh no, I just make fun of her all the time now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. 100%. Okay.
Because it was really fun when me and my wife got married, and then my brother and his wife got married, and we'll ask, be like, "Oh, who's your favorite?" And both of our wives will say him.
uh, nothing but love, but
Yeah.
yeah, we know who's getting their bread buttered.
Yep.
It's fine. Oh yeah. I'm afraid to even ask that one.
What?
What's your favorite game on your phone?
Like right now or like overall?
Ask Walk. That's their question.
Guac. Overall? Ugh. I would have to say this stupid like Robo Defense that I downloaded like probably like 5 years ago. It was one of those that it's just like a defense game. You put like turrets down, and it's kind of you set it up, and then you just let your phone just do its own thing. Kind of just keeps me entertained. That or like my kids play the like there's like this game called Tag with Ryan. And it's just Ryan's World dude running. It's really fun to play. I got addicted to it after my son wanted it on my phone.
with Ryan.
Yeah, it's basically like Temple Run, but for kids.
Okay.
Yep. So you can see
Run. Got it.
Temple Run was fun. Then it kind of just disappeared. Like Flappy Bird.
Yeah. I actually was really glad the Temple Run disappeared because I saw that when it first came out, and I'm like, how is this remotely interesting? And then Flappy Bird came out. I was really surprised at how popular Flappy Bird got.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
that's one of the I believe that's one of the reasons why the guys stopped producing it. Like they took it down because it was just one guy made it like just himself, and then everybody just constantly wanted updates or reporting things, and he just got so overwhelmed that he just took the game down.
it's just wild.
Bubble Pop and Traffic Escape. Those are the games that pop up as ads whenever I'm playing other games.
I get that. What is that? Ebony Online or whatever. That's the ones that pop up for me when that.
Yeah.
Like the guy who's like, oh, he falls down this little pit and gets stripped of all his power, and then they're like, oh yes, if he goes here, and you're like, yeah, he's winning, and then he makes this, oh, I have got 14 power, I'm gonna go take on the 18 power guy now. I'm like, why?
Yep.
Who in their right mind? No.
If I watch an ad for a game and they have like that stupid just purposely losing, I will never buy that game. Ever.
Yes.
I hate that. It really grinds my gears.
I haven't heard that one in a long time.
We like to throw it back.
Well, like Paul Harvey, you now know the rest of the story. You know how sad it is? I drop that line periodically, and people just kind of stare at me like I've lost my mind. I'm like, how? Why? It was such a good show. Learned all kinds of like really cool, fantastic stuff, and then it just, I think the guy retired is essentially what happened, and it was a sad day. Sad day. Now, what is a thing that happens to you that you pull up every now and again? You pull out of your repertoire of memes. We'll call them memes, I guess. You pull out and then you realize that, oh, I really have gotten old in age, because it's like trying to describe a rotary phone to children these days.
One thing that always makes me feel old is, like, you see that meme of you go in to buy alcohol or something, and
Mm-hmm.
they ask to see your ID, and they're like, "Oh, I saw the 19. You're good." Like, that hurts. Like that one always gets me.
Oh, I haven't had that one yet.
Oh, that's a good one. Nope, Chuck Testa. That makes me feel old too. God, we were just laughing about that like last month. That is an old one.
Oh,
Chuck Norris jokes.
I
People
love
just
Chuck
don't.
Norris
People
jokes.
just don't enjoy Chuck Norris jokes anymore.
And see, okay, so I I had been trying to reignite the old Chuck Norris jokes, because I occasionally do this thing where I pop into people's chats and do like little stupid rhymes or limericks. And for Wars, I intentionally go into Wars' chat, and I will drop Chuck Norris limericks where she's schooling Chuck Norris about this or that, and it's always, Chuck Norris was her teacher until she discovered that she was better at it than he was. Something stupid at that long line, but it was always Chuck Norris this, Chuck Norris that.
Yeah.
and
I always
her
loved.
chat.
I always loved like the Barons chat, like in WoW, because it was always Chuck Norris jokes, just
Yep.
constantly. Oh, the one that I just got brought back to me the other day was the Orbit gum. The "you lint liquor." What do you call liquor? You booty queen. You Hoboken. We watched that. It was on my phone, and my wife just starts dying. And I was like, I'm gonna start just calling you a Hoboken now. Like, you're just a Hoboken. So just that one gets me every single time. But that also makes, like, I've said that before at work, and like the older people get, like my age and like above, get it.
Yeah.
But like the younger people, they're like, what the fuck is a lint liquor? I don't understand. I'm like, no, don't say that. You make me feel old.
Oh. Yeah. It's
Who
tough.
You calling a lint liquor? Yes. Growing up is terrible.
Is it growing up, or is it the change? See, it's one thing I've noticed is as I get older, right, things change faster. Back when I was a kid, a fad came in there and was stuck around for a year to 4 years, right? Yeah. Now fads are in and done in like a few days. Just depends.
I was gonna say, it took at least 10 years for the suck it fad to pass.
God. Oof. Yeah, that could have gone faster.
That one was around for a while.
That could have gone faster.
Could have.
Should have. But
it was great while it was here.
Or the was up.
Oh, that was great.
That took forever.
Well, then it also got into like the movies too, and that just made it grow even more.
Oh, it was, yeah. It was horrendous when it ended up in the movies. Like the movies are definitely not like, let's say good. Having a meme show up in the movie is definitely not like the same as having it show up in like a YouTube video is nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
If it shows up in a movie, then it takes on a life of its own, because it's now like, okay, yeah, I saw it in movies, that was great. Now it's in like daytime commercials.
Yeah.
And it's in like 5 or 6 daytime commercials, all because it was in the movie.
Now it's everywhere. Great.
Yeah. Can we not do that again, please and thank you? There were things. There were times. Mm-mm.
I would say I knew I was getting older when I was at home playing with my kids out front, and somebody drove past really fast, and I yelled, and I was like, "Good Lord, I'm my father." That's when I knew I was getting old. When I got mad at somebody for driving too fast, like the "get off my lawn" type.
Oh.
Slow down in my neighborhood. I was like, "Oh no, oh no." That happened.
Where did that come from? Jeez. Sorry.
Yeah, that's another. That's another one my brother just brought up. There was one time when
hey, bud. Yeah.
yeah. So I was we were picking up his car or getting something out of his car, dropping his car off. I don't remember what it was, but I know that I drove him to where his car was in like this car shop. And this kid, it was dark. This kid goes riding his bike by, and I'm sitting in my car. And he just like, as he's riding by, doesn't like hit my car with the bike, but he kind of just like slaps his hand on the hood as he's going by. Just he's doing it to every car,
Mm-hmm.
like just minding his own business, being a kid. And he
Yeah.
goes past, and I just like scared the crap out of him because I was like, "Hey, bud." And he looked at me and I looked at him, and he goes, "Oh my God." And I'm like, don't even fucking start. Like, I know what I did. Don't bring it up. It was the oldest I've ever felt in my life at that moment. And I was just like, that just happened. Let's pretend it didn't. Okay. It was bad.
Wow. Yeah, that was bad. That's the thing that'll haunt you.
Yeah, it was one of those, the moment it left my mouth, I immediately regretted it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a solid, like, I would like to go back and undo that, please and thank you. I'm so sorry. I don't know what just came out of my mouth.
I mean, that's kind of what it was like. It's like, please just don't remember that.
And you know, he ran home like, you won't believe what this old guy just. Now, you said, "Hey, bud." And honestly, my brain went even worse on that, because I'm like, oh God, you're gonna give me a Pauly Shore's reference story. I can hear it now. "Hey, buddy." I'm like, oh God, no, please.
Nope. Wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, but it was pretty bad.
That I honestly, that's what I was expecting. I'm like, oh, we're gonna have a Biodome moment. It's all right.
Honestly, I would have been okay with that, but the "hey bud" just got me, because we always make fun of our dad for it, and then when I said it, I was just like, no, that's me now.
Yeah.
It's like those commercials. "We can't help you from becoming your parents." Well, no, you can't. You're right,
No.
because I just did it myself.
No. I like those commercials.
Those are literally my favorite commercials right now.
Yes, I laugh hysterically at those. I'm like, these are fantastic. Whoever came up with this idea, good on you. That's a solid concept for a commercial.
100%.
We can't prevent you from becoming your parents,
but we can save you money.
Just, yeah. Oh, those are bar none. Yes. Favorite commercials. Oh. Yeah, that's a trip down. Mm-mm. If you had to go back to a game, and you could only play that one game over and over again for the rest of your life, what game would you take?
Oh, um, trying to think. I would say the one game that I always go back to, and so it would just be that game, would probably, like he said, it would probably be Diablo 2. I would literally, I could play that on repeat. Just make a new character, go, just continuously. Because it's just one of those games that I've never gotten tired of. I've literally played it consistently. I mean, it's over 20 years old, and I mean, I was always downloading the, getting my old CDs out and downloading the game because you had to have the CDs, and then finally the GOG stuff came out. Like you could start downloading it offline, and like it's one of those games that I could literally play forever. And
Rutherford
have zero thoughts
asks,
about it.
why was Lieutenant Zam allowed to join your games on stream and do you regret? No, I'm just kidding. No, Rutherford does ask, is there a person that has joined your games on stream that you regret allowing in?
Rutherford.
Huh?
No, I would say the one person that I wish never would have come into a game would have been when we, like me and Steven, I can't remember who else was playing it, started DayZ. Um and we were like thoroughly enjoying it. Like it was just one of those games that like just it hit because like we were on like this like Tarkov kick, like where we just wanted a first person shooter, but I was also still on like my survival game aspect. And so like it was perfect because it was both. You had the, you know, once you died, you were dead. You had to go find your body aspect of like the first person shooter like Tarkov, but then the survivability of like zombies as well. And so we loved it. I mean, I literally had like probably 100, 200 hours in like a month, like just playing it nonstop. And then this guy joined the stream one time, and he was real cool in chat. I mean, he hung out for like a week or so, just kind of just talking, giving us tips and pointers and stuff. Not really
Right.
backseat gaming, not spoiling anything. And then he was like, "Hey, do you care if I join you?" And I'm like, "No, that's fine." So he like joined and started playing, and I mean, it was fine. We had no problems. And then just all of a sudden, he started complaining and like groaning and just bitching about, oh, I'm lagging super hard. It must be, it's got to be your computer. It's not me. And blah blah blah. Like nobody else is having a problem, like at all. Like none of us are having zero. We're all no problems with the game running or anything. And he's just constantly like saying, oh, it's you're causing this, you're causing that. And then he ended up going through and basically spoiling the game for us. Like anytime we were trying to play, we finally got a car, we finally got it fixed up, got wheels and everything for it. And then he would get in the car and not leave the driver's seat. He wouldn't let anybody else drive. And it was just one of those things where like we ended up finally just kicking him from the game, and he left the server shortly after that, like Discord and everything. But it was one of those like we never went back to the game because we had such a poor experience with the player base
Right.
there that it ruined the game. And I know that it's probably not like that, but then again, I have not heard good things about the player base as well. So like it's just one of those games that like it sucks because we were enjoying it, but I won't go back to it.
I after an experience like that, I don't know that I would blame you on that one. I don't know that I would go back to it. That sounds rough. Like, what was that game? Oh, Rust. A buddy of mine bought it for me.
Mm-hmm.
He bought it and thought we would all go and play together, and I jumped in to go play with him, but for me, I had a big issue with the game because Rust has this mechanic in there that when your character is created, you don't get to pick what your character looks like. Like that's actually all decided based on your Steam handle, your Steam code. And so the Steam code decides what you look like. And so my Steam code had me as a middle-aged female. And I'm like, okay, you hear my voice.
Yeah.
There is no way I'm a chick.
Yeah.
And there was no way for me to change that. There was no way to fix it. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, the only way you can fix that is you have to go get a different Steam account and roll into somebody else. I'm like, I don't play female characters. Not that I have anything against the female characters.
Yeah.
But I came up in the era of the internet where guys would play female characters and then have virtual sex with other guys as female characters, and so you never know if you're talking to a real girl or a guy on the other end. And so I always played a guy because I'm like, I don't want people questioning where I'm at. And then I log into this game and they're like, yeah, you're instantly a chick. And I'm like, I can't. I literally played it for like 2 hours, tried my very best, and I'm like, every time I turn around, I can't.
I get that. I understand that. That makes sense. Yeah, I couldn't do that if I had that in my head, I wouldn't be able to either. So,
and so I walked away from the game, and I'm like, it's a shame because I really wanted to play with these guys, and we were going to have a good time together and everything else. I never could. I couldn't get past that aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's never fun.
Like, way to ruin the game.
Yeah, and that's another thing though. Like, so many people play games for like the transmog and stuff. Like, there's not like being able to like not even that, but like being able to like change your character, like get it to look like you. Like, that's one of the main things that my brother plays girls all the time. But like that's one of the things that like I enjoy about games is like character creation. Like, and to take that away and like basically gatekeep it behind that is just that's kind of crappy.
It is. It's a terrible thing. It was like after like the fourth or fifth time of having to explain to somebody that I'm a dude.
Yeah,
and some of the players are like, no, you've just got a voice mod turned on. That's why you sound the way you do. No, that's my natural voice.
Jesus, there's no way.
No way. Yeah. You're so where do you live? How round are you? I'm like, dude, no. We're not having this conversation. No, sir.
ASL.
It's like so yeah, I stopped playing it. I couldn't.
Well, that I had always had the thought of like, would Rust be fun? No, I know. Holy shit, I forgot about ASL. Damn it. Why do you saying that makes me instantly feel older? And I know that you're not that much younger than me. Like, why? Why would you say that? I thought you meant American Sign Language. That made me feel old. Jesus. Oh, I can't. I can't with you right now. Damn it, Quack.
I saw you said ASL. I'm like, oh. I didn't. Thankfully, you didn't have that question. And then I look over and see Guax. He's like, I forgot all about that. I'm like, wait a minute. What did you think ASL meant? Because my brain went somewhere else with that, and I'm like,
yeah.
No, I didn't even know Omegle was a thing until it was no longer a thing. I was like, wait, what? Huh? What is this that everybody's yelling about? They're closing down what? Okay. I don't know what this even is.
Man, you guys were sticks in the mud. Oh, my bad.
You know,
when was that a thing?
First off, anybody that complains about us being sticks in mud, I would merely point out the fact that if we're sticks in the mud, why do they keep showing up?
Boom. Boom.
I mean, you know,
snap, crackle, and pop.
Rice Krispies.
Get some.
That's terrible. Just yeah.
Oh, I'm not actually complaining. But when was it though? I don't even know when. Let me look.
When was what?
When did Omegle shut down? November 2023. Oh, well, that was, I guess, recently then.
It was a couple of years ago. 2022, yeah, a couple of years ago. It fits.
Came out in March 25th, 2009. So you want to know what I was doing from 2009 to 2011? I was in the middle of the ocean on deployments. That's why I have no idea what Omegle is.
From when to when now?
2009 to 2011. I was in the military from 07 to 2011.
Wait, Omegle was 2009, 2011?
No, it was a thing. It was its heyday was back in 2009, 2011.
Wow.
No, we had internet, but we were blocked from a lot of things.
Was I'm trying to think, what was I doing in 2009, 2011? That was when I was running my my MSP shop out of Virginia, and I basically lived in my car for weeks on end, running from site to site, fixing things. I wouldn't have known about anything that was happening on the internet.
Yeah, I was stationed in Virginia. I liked it out there.
I hated it in Virginia. I was not a fan. The people were nice and everything, but
yeah,
like Virginia Beach sucked.
I think I just enjoyed it because of the group of people that I was with constantly.
That's fair. I mean, that's usually the way that works, though. You get yourself a solid group of people that you like hanging around with, and you know, next thing you know, you're stuck with Lieutenant Zams crawling around behind you.
100%. Scaring the crap out of you all the time because he just crawls up out of nowhere.
Right? Exactly. I get so much flack over that. It's all right. It's fine. It's fine. We live for it, right? It's good. We are into the last 15 minutes of our conversation, though. So we are going to be looking to wrap things up. That being said, we have 2 questions that are our end of the conversation, so to speak.
All right.
Though I suspect we may not chatter too much longer about those, but they're still fair, anyways. The first one is we are vastly approaching the end of 2024, which every time I say that, I'm like, wow, it's like we're in November now. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
We're less than 8 weeks away to the end of 2024. So between now and the end of the year, and pretty much anytime you want next year, I usually try to be like, okay, for between now and a year from now, do you have like any like big plans on the horizons for any like big events, any milestones that you're looking to achieve or looking to celebrate, something that's like, hey, there's a thing that's happening over on your channel and people need to know about it, and go check it out and be there to help support and celebrate and everything else.
I mean, not. I don't know about the channel wise. Um, Guac, would you like to say it? So me and a couple people before, my
Mm-hmm.
brother and one of my other mods, Steven, he's busy right now, so yeah, I don't know if he stopped by tonight. We started a podcast a couple years ago,
Nice.
and kind of we just were BSing the entire time with it and going through
Mm-hmm.
and doing stuff. Yeah, Mike's little nephew slash little brother. um, but me and Steven were part of a podcast before, kind of had a falling out with some of the people, and we decided to do a second podcast with me, him, and my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and did a whole season, and kind of had started doing a second season, and then he had a kid, I had my third kid, so we kind of just went on a hiatus, and we're starting back up with Guac joining us. Should be sometime in the next year, beginning of the year. We're hoping start recording here soon to get some stuff.
Nice.
So
Well, that is exciting.
it's called Beers with Nerds.
Beers with Nerds. I
If you
like the name
go
already.
if you go to Spotify and you listen to the first season, we are very cringe. So it's very cringy.
Okay, but let's face facts. It wouldn't be funny if it wasn't slightly cringy, anyways.
This is true. We are nerds who like beer. Yes, we are.
Now, is it a podcast about beer, just period, or
No, so we do well, originally we had just wanted, like, we were just talking like video games and stuff, because that's what the other podcast that we were doing was. It was just talking about,
mm-hmm.
like, because the old podcast we were doing was called Gamers Getting Older, and
Okay,
it was, we loved it. It was great. Me and Steven did a lot of work on the actual like socials of that. I mean, we grew a decent following. We had probably like 60 people, 70 people listening every week to the new episodes. Loved it. It
nice.
was fun.
Yeah,
And then when we had the falling out with the people, it kind of just ruined it. And they ended up, they had the access to some of the websites and ended up changing the passwords so we couldn't get into them. And
oh, that's
so
rude.
that podcast just kind of died. And so we've been trying to like remake that, and we've kind of just gathered the fact that we're just not going to do gaming more or less, but we're going to try to talk more about just everything in general. um like,
Right.
we've got a couple thoughts where we're like, I think one of the topics we're going to touch on is like adulting with ADHD. A couple of us can kind of bring up like what it is like being a parent in ADHD, and
Mm-hmm.
then we have a dad joke section that we do where we just tell dad jokes for a little bit. So everybody loves dad jokes. But I mean, we're gonna try to touch on more topics. That's one of the things I told Guac when she joined us is she had to help us come up with ideas. Said, "You're joining, you're helping us come up with ideas. You're stuck with that."
There you go.
I mean, we had Mike on there last season talking like Valheim stuff and different things, so
Nice.
it's fun.
Well,
We enjoy it, so
that's still something to talk about and to celebrate on.
yeah.
So I perfectly valid thing to talk about. Any so it's on Spotify then, and it's
It's on pretty much every major podcast thing. Like it's on everything. It's on iTunes, Google, Amazon. Because I
you have a
never
YouTube
took
channel for it as well.
Not yet. I need to. I feel like I did, and then I was gonna upload the stuff, but that was like right when we started kind of slowing down with everything,
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of just died off. But that's one thing I did want to start adding back on is doing YouTube stuff and really just pushing it and kind of going all
Sure.
in. The only downside of it is I kind of have it planned with my wife that for streaming, I basically stream, 3 days out of the week where like she knows that I'm going to be downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And so doing the podcast, it takes away a day from streaming because I don't want to have to, make her deal with the kids an extra night because she already is such an amazing person and lets me do my hobbies. And so
I totally get that.
by the way, we've met one time, so her back is not hurting from carrying the podcast.
It's an awful lot of work doing all that carry.
Pain.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good time once we
sounds like an
actually get
excellent
episodes
time.
going. And so
Absolutely. So there you guys go. Nerds with beers, huh?
Beers with nerds.
Beers with nerds.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to send me a link to the thing so I can post it all over the place. Try to make certain we celebrate that around for you a little bit more. Because I unfortunately, as much as I would say, I will perfectly remember it after we get off the conversation. I am also fine. fully well versed in the fact that I have streamer brain at the moment. So I don't guarantee I'll remember it.
That is totally fine.
That's a thing, right? Streamer brain is
100% is a thing.
Such a thing. Every now and again, I'm like, I know I'm not this stupid. Like, what the hell happened?
No, that's normal. That's just that's a thing that happens, and it kills me all the time.
I just attribute it to streamer brain. I'm like, it's streamer brain. It's fine. I think the stream the stream rots your brain. That's but yeah, I see. I had there was myself and there was two other gentlemen. We were trying to start up our own podcast show. It was myself, Fox from Fox and Bull, and he's changed his name since then. And for the life of me, my brain has just like dropped the information. It's gone. I'm like, I know this one. Blind Dad Does.
Okay.
What was his name? He's changed it to something else. But so we had named the group the Blind Silver Foxes. Blind Dad is legitimately blind, but a wicked sense of humor, fantastic guy. Does stream. Yes, Serene Heart. That's what he's changed it to. Thank you. See, told you. Stream of rain. But yeah, we started up called Blind Silver Foxes. We had emotes, we had a whole screen and everything else set up. We got together, we sat down, we had one hour long stream conversation, the three of us. It was an absolute blast, and then it never went from there. We never came back around to do another version of it or keep going on it. Had an absolutely hilarious time. It was basically three old guys sitting around complaining about young kids. And
That's the best.
IT professional guys complaining about and telling bad IT stories, and oh, you remember this, and it was that kind of setup where you've got three IT guys and we're all trying to outdo each other with like who's got the worst possible story to tell.
Yeah,
you just kind of keep going around in circles. Like, oh, I can one up that. Watch this. Hey, let me tell you about this guy. Oh, that's terrible. I can one up that. Watch this. Let me tell you.
Yeah, there's definitely some with my job that I've got those like, oh yeah, I can definitely.
I can top that. Watch this. Hold my beer. It was a good time. We had a lovely time. I think everybody that showed up for it laughed hysterically. We all laughed hysterically. I mean, anytime you sit around and you tell a story about so there was this lady who I had to go fix the copier machine for because they couldn't figure out how to make their printer work, and their idea of making a printer work was to put the monitor face down on the copy machine with the copy machine unplugged, dragged halfway down the hall, and the monitor unplugged from the computer, and they couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And you're like, really?
Jeez. That's mean, Brian.
There are people like this.
Yeah.
One-uppers like Steven. There are, okay, just because I think it needs to be said, not that it has to be said. There are ways that you can have a conversation where you're legitimately trying to one up each other on stories, and it's funny. It's a good time. And then there are people who have to one up because they have to be better than everybody else around you. I have no patience for the latter, but I love the former.
Yeah. I got accused of that one time with my wife's family, and it was like when I first got to know them, and nothing has changed. I still can't stand them, but they were telling stories, and I'm the new person in the family, so I was just like, oh, that's you're telling a story, cool. Like I've got a story that is kind of similar, like so I can bond and be a part of the group and tell stories. Right. And literally the moment we left, they messaged her and they were like, yeah, we don't like him. He just kept trying to one up us all night. And I'm like, I'm literally just telling a story that matches your story. There's nothing like, I'm not like, oh, my story's so much better than your story. No, it was literally just trying to be a part of the conversation and just keep the conversation going. And they were just like, no, fuck this guy. I'm like, okay.
Wow. Yeah, hard pass. Nope. Don't ask me to go back to them.
Oh God, no.
No. That just sounds painful.
I just have to see him once or twice a year, and then I'm good.
I'm sorry.
I take gummies before I go over there. I'm really mellowed out.
For what it's worth, my 2 cents. If you have to take gummies in order to stand your in-laws, they should probably be outlaws.
I could not agree more. I could not agree more.
I mean, yeesh,
Yep.
holy cow. It's fine. I say it's fine. I don't know if it actually is fine. That just sounds horrendous. I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry, dude.
terrible.
It's absolutely horrendous. All right. Your final question for the evening, and while you're thinking about the answer and whatnot, you can also be figuring out who you want to rate out to as well. But your final question for the evening is this, and you can look at it however you want to look at it. If you had to give a piece of advice to either an earlier version of yourself or somebody new coming on the scene learning to stream for the first time, what would be the single piece of advice that you would give them that would help to make things easier? Like if it was you, you're like, oh, if I only had known this back then when I was first starting, my life would have been so much easier as a streamer. Like that's what would be that sort of piece of advice that you would give to somebody who's coming into this, trying to start up and be a streamer?
I would say to myself or anybody that the biggest hurdle is just be yourself and don't pay attention to the numbers. Because there's tons of times where, you're just trying to stream and just have a good time, and then you like I know I had the problem when I first started, and I mean I still have sometimes. I've got the problem now where I'll be streaming having a good time, and then all of a sudden chat will kind of get a lull, and you'll look over and see like, oh man, those numbers are really low. Like that kind of sucks, and it kind of gets you down a little bit. And I know some of the people that I streamed with from the very get-go, like, just don't give up. Like it's it'll happen. You'll you'll get there. You'll do it. Like, I mean, I'm not the most successful person. Like I just enjoy it, and I enjoy my look on it is, imagine, so if you're worried about views because you've only got like one or two people watching you,
Mm-hmm.
imagine you're sitting on your bed in your bedroom when you're a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and those people in your chat are sitting on the bed with you. Like, you've got two people sitting there hanging out with you, playing games with you. Like that's huge to think of it that way, rather than, oh man,
Yeah.
I've only got two people watching me. It's like, no, you have two people sitting with you, enjoying the game with you, going through and doing the stuff with you. Like it immensely changes the outlook on how you look at streaming and stuff and your numbers. And it's like, man, like, yeah, I've only got two people, but I've got two people sitting here with me hanging out. So
Yeah.
kind of just, so that's what I would give myself advice for. Or anybody else, I guess, that's starting. I mean,
Yeah.
just don't pay
Well,
attention to it. Just be yourself. I mean, I'm myself, and that's one thing that's really helped me grow in the last year.
exactly. It's it's advice that it's an answer to the question. I tell everybody there is no wrong answer to the question, right?
Thank you, Glock.
I like Guac. Guac, I feel, kind of keeps you humble on occasions. It
She
just
does. She really does. She's one of my mods. She keeps me very humble.
Keep up the good work, Guac. Keep up the good work. That's fantastic. You love to see it. It's a good time.
Mhm.
But no, so you're not the first person to say, don't look at the numbers. And I would definitely say, I would hazard a guess to say that I'm probably not going to be the last person to say, don't look at the numbers. And I think at the beginning, it's easy to get sucked into that point where you're like, oh, I've only got one or two people staring at me, then I must suck. but I would also add to your statement in the fact that everybody who starts out only ever has one or two people, including the people that have 14,000 viewers at a given point in time, or millions of followers and everything. They all started out hitting that button the first time and talking to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go famous day one. Now, some people do ramp up faster than others, but that's just the way it happens. Not everybody gets super popular off the start, but if you're patient, you're consistent, you're there all the time, and you interact with people in a good measured way, and you leave good lasting experiences with them, and they're having fun, they're enjoying themselves, and they're going to come back. They're going to continue to show up time and time again. They're going to want to be there for everything. They're going to want to be there and continue to be there to support you as you continue your growth. And they'll become a trusted member of the family. They'll become a good friend. They'll become your own personal guac that you keep around with you all the time. And you're like, yeah, I'm so glad that they're here.
We're glad you're here, Guac. Careful, we don't want her crying again.
Can we do that? Can we try to do that? Just say a few more minutes. It's fantastic. This guac never goes bad.
Does not.
Not even sour, right? Won't spoil ever. It's fine. It's fine. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, that is a thing, and it is important to understand that if you keep at it, it's like any job. Every day you get incrementally better. Every time you start up a stream, you get incrementally better. You're going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to refine, to perfect, to augment the thing. Like, I am certain if we looked at some of your earlier streams compared to some of your streams now, they're going to look radically different.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
I've seen some of the older ones. They're not good. Not at all. And I mean, honestly, like, if you would have told me back then that I would still be doing it in 2024 and have the following that I do and have the people that I've met through stream and the friends that I've made doing this, I would have laughed at you. There's no way I would have thought that. I've met a lot of good people playing games and streaming, and it's just one of those that I just enjoy it and hope to continue to keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And we hope to continue to watch you do that. Now, that being said, at the end of this month, we are having our 1 year anniversary for Talk Tuesdays. I'm still flabbergasted that we've been doing this for a solid year. Holy crap. And so, because you are a guest here on Talk Tuesday, before that 1 year celebration, I would invite you to come back on that Tuesday. You're welcome to jump in. So we're going to be doing a Talk Tuesday marathon where it's just going to be an open Discord call. I'm going to be sitting in there. I think Squirrel's going to be in there co-hosting it with me, and anybody that's been on the show prior to then is welcome to jump in, sit down, talk with us for a few moments. We're going to try and see how many people we can get to sort through. So if you've got some free time you want to spend, we'll be at it for a good little while. By all means, come drop on in. We would love to have you stop by.
I'll keep an eye out.
It'll be a good time. I like this setup. I really wish I had a sound setup like this for my house.
It would be kind of cool. I know somebody that has somewhat similar to that. He's got not as many guitars, but he does have the guitars on the wall, and he's like he was showing me his setup, and it was pretty sweet. He's does like music and stuff for like his local church. Like he's him and
Yeah.
his wife do. They're in the band, so they've got a whole music studio set up. It's pretty cool.
I have an electric guitar that looks like some of these they've got hung up on the wall here. These look like Les Pauls.
Hmm.
So I have an electric and the bass that look almost identical to these. They're really a joy to play. And I have a little mini keyboard, and I have all of that hooked up to my rig. And so when I sit down to write music, I have a DAW workstation that I can like record directly into, and I've got a couple plugins that run directly into there. But it's not nearly as fancy as this with all of the various band equalizers and everything else. I'm like, I could really fine tune the crap out of some sound with something like this. This would be so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I wish I could learn how to. I want to learn how to do is sound and stuff, because like I've started doing like trying to create video games, and I'm just like, man, it would be cool to make sound for them as well.
Right? Exactly. It would be the thing that it would be. Oh, excuse me. It would be the fun thing to do. I think it would be absolutely fantastic and such a good time.
That's perfect, Walk. Perfect for you.
Perfect. Ooh.
She says she's wearing a shirt today that says "Guac is extra, and so am I."
I love that. That is a fantastic shirt. Even if it's not being worn on a guac, that is still a fantastic shirt. Guac, where can I get a shirt like that? I need a shirt like that in my life. Oh, that is fantastic. All right. Amazon. I know where I'm heading to. It'll probably be tomorrow, but this is where I'm going. All right. So your target for your raid for this evening.
Let's go Squirrel.
You want to go say hi to is Squirrel actually running? Oh, she is.
Yeah,
she's doing some enshrouded. Excellent. Well, then Squirrel already knows what it means when we drop in there. So there you go. That works out well. Before we let you get out of here, though, we will do all of the classic shout outs. So there is the classic Twitch one that puts a little heart up in the chat box. If it's not lit up, then folks, I'm sorry. I don't know how to tell you this any nicer. You're doing it wrong. Go click that button. You should be definitely checking out this a fantastic streamer. Good friend of Brother Fjord's, good friends of ours. Took a few hours out of his very busy schedule to come be here tonight. And we do appreciate that. You've been a fantastic guest, my friend. And then let's go see what sort of happy, funny, laughy voice we're going to get when we do your clip shout out so people can see some of the content they get to see. Oh, that's a Phasmo. Oh, no.
Yeah, that was a good one. No, God, please no.
Just get eaten.
That's how most of my clips on that go.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. This has been such a delightful evening. Thank you for doing this and signing up and volunteering for it.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a fantastic night. Now this will go up on the YouTube channel, so we're going to continue to, like, the VOD will be floating around, and we'll have people come back in to watch the VOD to catch it up, because not everybody gets to be here on time. And then this will go up on YouTube, so this will continue to go up. Eventually, I will strip all the audio out of this and turn it into a podcast, and so we'll head up as a podcast. So we're going to continue to tell everybody what a delightful and amazing individual you are for long time to come still. Free advertising, right? We love it. Again, thank you for hanging out. I am going to deafen. If you will just hold on till you see the end screen come up, and then you're welcome to hop out of channel and go about and do whatever else that you need to do for the evening. It's been a good time, and thank you, my friend.
Yeah, same. Thank
You
you.
want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming and asking me questions.
For coming and hanging out with us as we've had a delightful evening. All right. Again, it's been fantastic. I look forward to catching you more in your streams. I will be around to pester you. We'll get you more people in there to pester you. That's the best part of it, right? I mean, as fellow streamers, not pestering each other while we're streaming just kind of seems boring.
It does. It does. It's the best part is just going in and pestering people.
And just you're fixing to do the thing. I know exactly. Then there you go. You're welcome. I think we'd like torment each other. I think that's just like comes with the territory. It's fantastic. All right. I'm deafening. It's been a pleasure, my friend.
Have a good one.
You too. And there's the end screen. We are out for the evening. This has been a bit of a late night, but it has been an absolute delight. We've had a fantastic guest star tonight with Sir Bearded Waffle. He's been a fantastic guest star. If you don't know who it is, well, go back and rewatch the VOD. Go learn all about this amazing, fantastic streamer. By all means, go drop a follow. Go hang out. Go check out. He's all right, I guess. He's more than all right. He is the Sir Bearded Waffle, our fantastic guest. We are going to raid over to Swift Squirrel, so don't go anywhere just yet. Don't disappear. We're not quite done yet. No, absolutely not. We are going to do the raid thing. We actually have raid emotes for raid messages. Squirrel. I can learn how to spell right. Big thank you to our new followers and raiders, Lady of the Dark, and Guac. You got a gifted sub tonight, so enjoy the emotes. We are welcome to come back for some more fun and shenanigans. We get up to all kinds of crazy things. Let's go say hi to Swift E Squirrel. So there are the Talk Tuesdays raid messages. The first one is for all of you subscribers. The second one's for all of you followers. Whichever one you can get, grab it, copy it, get ready to spam it. We're going to go say hi to Swift Squirrel. We're going to tell them that they suck because they missed out on learning all about the fantastic Sir Bearded Waffle. So let's go have some fun. And until next time, continue to be the fantastic, fabulous, and amazing people that I already know you are. And until next time, well, you know how this goes. Bye for now.